Oh honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole. Last information check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. Last information check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. So you're Ganini Press. Last information check. You're Ganini Press. So you're Ganini Press. Last information check. You're Ganini Press. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a chat. Last information check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. Last information check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Yes!
Hello, everybody. Buckle up, because it's time to go down the GRB rabbit hole. Okay, here we go. Hello. How is everybody doing today on this very, very cold here in the part of Texas I am in? It is colder than cold, and we got about a handful of snow. I'm so jealous because Louisiana got a lot of snow, and it just missed us. We got just a little bit. I think I'd probably scoop up a handful out of my yard. But when that happens, the entire town shuts down. So, there was no school today, no nothing. So, yeah, here I am. Hey, Carms. Hey, Bethany. And Keish. If y'all didn't see, Keish went up on Perez Hilton's panel, if you will. 2 degrees. Shit. I think it's like let's see what it is here. It is, well, now it's 30 degrees, but it says it feels like 60 degrees. 16. It feels like 16, and the low is 22. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Casey May, Carms again, Crystal Pistol, Main Chick. My thing is going by Jay Thomas. The Irate Unicorn, Into the Weeds podcast. Will Kleiner, Nova Bella, Bryn. Hello, Bryn. It's 25 there. Oh, Lordy. Y'all didn't get any snow, though, did you? Sammy Soup, I felt so bad releasing I caused this morning. It was so cold outside. It didn't move off my front. Wait, what was it? What were you releasing over there? A mouse? Misty Lynn, are you a Melanie? Yes, I am. I don't like all of her stuff, but I really loved the Crybaby or Dollhouse, whichever one that album was. I like in a sippy cup, in a sippy cup. Blood money, blood money. You know what's sad though is Jip Jip is also a Melanie Martinez fan, but it's very interesting her favorite song by Melanie Martinez. Maybe I'll play that song on the way out. Hello, 1-800 Fraudbusters. What's up? Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it, shall we? Because there are 102 pages of the preliminary hearing that Gypsy had. So we're going to start out with a little news article. All right. So this is July the 25th of 2015. And it says Gypsy Blanchard sobs in court as judge moves case towards trial. Greene County Prosecutor Dan Patterson read aloud haunting messages that he said were sent from Gypsy Blanchard to Nicholas Godejohn, both charged with murder. And there's Gyp's little head over there. Her little head, she's like, oh man. And in this moment, she knew she was fucked. She done fucked up. Okay? That is the moment she realized, I'm fucked. You're done, as the interrogation guy said. You're done. You're done. And if this had gone to trial, she would have been convicted. Absolutely. It says, all right, I can't read chat for a minute or I'm going to get sidetracked. All right. Gypsy Blanchard appeared in court hearing at the Greene County, blah, 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 with Mike Stanfielder, pussy attorney. Anyhow, we are doing this tonight. That's a quote. Quote, you may not need to put on the gloves because we will sink it so it's never found. A judge ruled Friday afternoon that those texts, along with other evidence, were enough to move Gypsy's case toward trial, as Gypsy herself sat silently, wiping tears from her face with shackled hands for most of the preliminary hearing's 3 hours. The state's case, which aims to prove that Gypsy asked her boyfriend, Godejohn, to kill Gypsy's mother, Claudinia Dee Dee Blanchard, began with 2 separate witnesses from the Greene County Sheriff's Office testifying to their involvement in the investigation into Claudinia's death. Jim Stanley, a supervision sergeant with the Greene County Sheriff's Office, described what is going on here. Oh my. Hold on. I pushed a button. What the fuck? All right. Okay. Jim Stanley, a supervising sergeant with the Greene County Sheriff's Office, described his entry into the Blanchard home and the eventual discovery of Claudinia's body. As Stanley sat at the witness stand, the shuffling of crime scene photos, the only noise in the courtroom, Gypsy rocked back and forth in her chair, staring straight ahead. You a little nervous there, Gypsy, at what they're showing? Made you a little uneasy, huh? All right, here we go. Prosecutors showed a series of the photos of the crime scene. They asked the deputy to describe the more gruesome ones. Stanley then described aloud a series of photos taken of Claudine's body, face down in a pool of black dried blood, the numerous stab wounds on her body, a deep cutting mark on the back of her neck. Did I push another button again? Yeah, I did. Okay. It's a low budget production over here. Patterson asked Stanley if he had checked Claudinia for vital signs upon finding her. No respiration. Gypsy began crying softly. No pulse. Gypsy's head sank. Then Stanley finally said it. She was deceased. Gypsy began, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Gypsy began visibly shaking as she sobbed. Stanley also noted the discovery of an envelope at Godejean's residence in Wisconsin, an 11-inch knife, and bloody blue latex gloves. In his cross-examination of the witness, Michael Stanfield, Gypsy's public defender, noted that, quote, volunteer, the name of the street where Gypsy has lived for years, was misspelled on the envelope. Stan Hancock, a criminal investigation division detective, discussed the contents of a backpack and suitcase found in Godejean's residence, as well as 8 pages of Facebook records. Stanfield and Patterson dueled over the validity of the Facebook records for some time. All right, I'm just going to scan over this because we're going to go over most of this in the documents. In this cross-examination, about the Facebook message, blah, 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 blah. We're going to read all that. I just wanted to read this particular news article because I think it's interesting to hear that Gypsy was her manner in the courtroom, not looking, crying, knowing that she is screwed, okay? she done fucked up. Okay, so we're gonna go through these documents, which is going to require me to read. So I'm gonna get some water real quick, and let's see if I have anything I can play for a second. Let's see. I don't have anything. All right, hold on. I'll play for you guys, and I'll edit this out later. So if you're watching this on the replay, I'm going to edit out the music, but I need just a minute so I can get a drink and hydrate myself before we read. So we'll play Gypsy's favorite Melanie Martinez song, which is called Teddy Bear. And, pay attention to the lyrics. Quite interesting. All right, give me one moment. Uno momento. Oh, I'm on mute. I could have let the whole thing play. Whatever. But I am back and hydrated. I think I don't want to keep having to clear my throat. Anyhow, yeah, so that Gypsy said that's her favorite Melanie Martinez song is Teddy Bear. And I think the lyrics are I understand why. Can you relate with trying to kill people? I think that's what it is. Projection. Yes, projection. I said I was hydrated, but I might have lied. Yeah, the lyrics are very telling. I saw her say it. I've heard her say that she likes Melanie Martinez, but I saw someone ask her months ago in a comment section what her favorite song by Melanie Martinez was, and that was it. It's Teddy Bear. Okay, you ready for the documents? So I'm going to have to put a watermark on this, and my reason for doing so is because these were not cheap, okay? I paid almost 250 bucks. 250 bucks out of my own money. So if people are going to use them, all I ask is that you credit me because again, I paid for these on my own and yeah. So I'd at least like the credit. Let me find my little watermark thingy. There it is. All right. That's the best I can do on a watermark at short amount of time. So, here we go. Nobody's Kelly. Oh my god. Yeah, apparently I'm being paid to go on panels now, I hear. Anyhow. All right. So, here we go. I'm just going to start reading. I'll break here and there. So, I won't be able to see chat when I'm reading, of course. So, just letting you guys know. In the Associate Circuit Court of Greene County, State of Missouri versus Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Preliminary hearing before the Honorable Ron Carrier on Friday, July 24th, 2015, at 1 p.m. of this day. The following proceedings were taken by Jill Harrison, certified court reporter, the Greene County Judicial Center, blah, 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 blah. It's just talking about nothing important there. All right. Appearances. Mr. Dan Patterson for the Greene County Prosecuting Attorney. For defense, Michael Stanfield, Clayton J. Baker. For the defense. Index witness. We're going to have Jim Stanley, who is a direct examination. Oh, that's not what I meant. Witness Stanley Hancock, and then witness Michael Costello. Now, let me see. Let me make sure you can see this. Take my little watermark off real quick. So here are the exhibits. So here's the thing. I got the transcripts. I wanted a full transcript of this hearing. So that is what I got. And I got it from the company that Mr. Patterson hired to do the transcripts. So I am going to try to FOIA these exhibits next. So I do not have the exhibits, but I have them talking about the exhibits. And I just want people to take notice, of the exhibits here. Okay. We've got 12 photographs, 32 photographs, 21 photographs, 46 photographs, 40 photographs, 42, 83, and then 88 videos. Unless I'm counting these wrong. Am I counting these wrong? Hold on. 88. It says offered and admitted. Okay, because the numbers don't stay consistent here. 94. So there's 88 videos admitted is what I guess that means. Anybody? Let me look in the chat here. Well, they don't talk about all the videos in this thing. Let me just tell you what I got out of this before we start reading it. Well, there's a couple things. Let's just go through it. Like, I don't want, there's nothing, well, I'll let you judge for yourself. Anyhow, so number 30 is a video, and then it's 88. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand the documents as well. Offered. There were 12 offered and 12 admitted. 32 offered, 32 admitted. 21 offered, 21 admitted. So yeah, there were 88 videos. I don't know how I could be reading that wrong. We got more photographs, yellow cab records, Facebook records, 54 Facebook records, photographs, LG phone, okay? And the LG phone is Gypsy's phone. The Kyocera phone, if I'm saying that right, I hope, is Nicholas's phone, and a PowerPoint DVD. But see, it says 94. Like, what is 94? It's one DVD. Is there 94 slides on the DVD? I guess. All right. Let us continue. I have to think and talk some of this out as we go. Let me make it big and make myself down here. There we go. What is going on in the chat? Anyways, all right, here we go. Kyocera is how you say out the phone name. Kyocera? Oh no, this has nothing to do with her nudes. They don't even talk about her nudes or anything like that. Now, if it was admitted into evidence, I don't know. You'll see. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to act this out in a way. All right, the court, the judge, the people say, today's date is July 24th, 2015. This is the Circuit Court of Greene County, Missouri, Associated Division 26. The court calls the case of State of Missouri versus Gypsy R. Blanchard, Greene County case number 1531, blah, blah, blah. Defendant appears in person with her attorney, Michael Stanfield and Clayton Baker. The state appears by prosecuting attorney Dan Patterson and assistant prosecuting attorney James Whiteside. We are present here for a preliminary hearing on this date. Are there any pre-hearing matters that we need to discuss at this time? Mr. Patterson says, yes, Your Honor, I filed a motion to amend the felony complaint, and as set out in the motion, it simply corrects the spelling of the defendant's name and the victim's name. The court has reviewed that motion previous to this hearing. Mr. Stanfield, any objection? Mr. Stanfield says, yes, Your Honor, the style of the case that the court just read does not match the style of the case listed at the top of the felony complaint. I think the felony complaint needs to be amended to comport with the style of the case that the court just read. And then the court says, in what manner do you believe it does not comport? Now, y'all just pay attention to Mr. Stanfield here, okay? I just do not like this guy one bit. Mr. Stanfield, because Mr. Godejean is also listed as a defendant and he is not present at this hearing. These cases are not joined. My client is having her case heard separately from Mr. Godejean, and so it's improper for him to either be listed as a defendant or not be present during this hearing. The court, Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson, neither of those things are accurate. Now, remember, Mr. Patterson is the prosecution. Neither of those things are accurate. For example, if we were in circuit court on a joint Friday felony, I can't read today. Fuck. If we were in circuit court on a joint felony information, the cases were served for trial. It would be not necessary to file an amended information in any way. You simply proceed on each defendant individually. When you draft jury instructions, they're drafted for the individual defendants, even if you try a case in a joint trial. There is no defect in the complaint. Defect. It also notes the different divisions. And the court says, the motion and the proposed first amended felony complaint do, in fact, delineate, I hope I said that right, between the two case numbers. The cases, in essence, at this point in preliminary proceedings, have been served by defendant Godejean's motion for change of judge. That does not necessarily mean that the trials may not ultimately be together, but that will be a decision to be made by another court at another time. At this time, the court will grant the state's motion for leave to amend the felony complaint and will show the first amended felony complaint shown as filed as to defendant Blanchard only. For arraignment, then, Mr. Stanfield, do you wish to have formal reading for your client? Mr. Stanfield says, no, Your Honor. We will waive that and enter a plea of not guilty. The court will now pleas of not court will now court will show pleas of not guilty to each of count 1 and count 2 of the first amended felony complaint. Is the state ready? Is there anything else then for the hearing before we get into evidence? Mr. Patterson says no, sir. Mr. Stanfield says no, Your Honor. The court, state may call its first witness. Mr. Stanfield, one thing, Your Honor. We would like to invoke the rule on witnesses. The court. The rule on witnesses has been invoked in this matter. If there are parties here in the courtroom who are witnesses in this trial, in this hearing, you are asked to absence yourself from the courtroom at this time and not to discuss this matter with anybody until you are excused to do so by the court. In addition, I'll ask counsel for both parties to instruct anybody that you may believe could be a witness in the preliminary hearing as to the effect of the rule. Thank you, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Patterson, you may call your first witness. Mr. Whiteside says, Your Honor, the state calls Jim Stanley. Sir, if you could raise your right hand. They swear him in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, blah, blah, blah. All right. First question to Mr. Stanley here. Sir, would you please introduce yourself to the court? Answer, yes, my name is Jim Stanley. Question, Mr. Stanley, how are you employed? Answer, I'm a supervisory sergeant for the Greene County Sheriff's Office. Question, and is your current assignment and your title supervisory sergeant? Sorry. And is your current assignment and your title supervisory sergeant? His answer, yes, in the property crime division. Question, how long have you been in that position? Answer, I've been newly promoted to that position. And when you say newly, how long ago was that? Answer, a week. Question, prior to that, and going back to specifically June of this year, what was your assignment at that time? Answer, Detective Sergeant for the Greene County Sheriff's Office. Question, how long have you been employed by the Greene County Sheriff's Department? Answer, since March of 2001, so almost 15 years. Correct. Question, prior to that, do you have any other law enforcement or first responder employment? He says, I do. I have both. Next question, and what would that be? Answer, started out in law enforcement in 1992 in the Rogersville Police Department. When I left that position, I was a lieutenant. I went to work for the Boulevard Police Department, where I served as a sergeant for 3 years. And while I had also started prior to law enforcement as a firefighter, EMT, and then became a certified paramedic. And when you say EMT, that stands for Emergency Medical Technician. So you have some medical training as well. Yes, sir. Okay, how much? 7 years. Question, sir, I would like to direct your attention to June of this year, 2015, in the month of June, and specifically the date of June 14th. Were you involved in the investigation that involves a Claudinia Blanchard? Answer, I was. Question, and how did you become involved in that investigation? Answer, contacted to respond to the residents in reference to possible missing persons. Question, you say missing persons? Answer, correct. Question, plural. Answer, correct. And who were the alleged missing persons? Answer, when they would have been Claudinia Blanchard and Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Question, why say you responded to the residents? What was the residence? Answer, the residence was located at 2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield. Question, that's here in Greene County. Answer, correct. Question, upon your arrival at the residence, were you the first law enforcement on the scene? Answer, I was not. Question, when you arrived, what did you do in proceedings with the investigation? Answer, arrived on scene, met with patrol deputies, and then I placed crime scene tape around the residence. Question, did anyone enter the residence? Answer, no. Question, at that time? Answer, no, sir. Question, did anyone subsequently enter the residence? Answer, prior to law enforcement or my arrival? Question, I will state specifically law enforcement. Answer, no. Question, your answer is no, I'm sorry. Answer, law enforcement did not enter. Question, at any time did they enter? Answer, yes. And when was that? Answer, we entered after we received a search warrant. Hold on, I'm just checking in on you guys over here. All right, let's keep going. And the search warrant was looking for answer, a missing person, missing persons. Question, the same two missing persons. Answer, yes, sir. Question, were you involved in executing that search warrant and entering the residence? Answer, I was. Question, were there any other officers involved in that as well? Answer, there were. Who were they? Answer, Sergeant Dennis Rice, Corporal. Give me 1 second here. I'm sorry. Corporal Brad Wallace. Question, and upon your entry, did you do a complete walkthrough of the house? His answer, yes. I will say, initially, when we did make entry, it was myself and Sergeant Steger. Steger? I don't know. We were the first two and the only first two to enter. Hold on just a second, guys. All right, sorry. Hold on. I'm getting distracted. And upon your entry, did you do a complete walkthrough of the house? Yes. I will say initially when we did make entry, it was myself and Sergeant Stager who were the first two and only first two to enter. Question, okay, did the two of you do a walkthrough of the house? Answer, we did. Question, okay, and at some point, were there photographs taken? There were. Okay. Mr. Whiteside, if I may approach, Your Honor, the court. You may, and both counsel for both parties have continuing permission to approach the witness in this hearing. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge. Question. Sir, I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibits 1 through 10. Would you please look those over? Answer, yes, sir. Do those photographs look familiar to you? Answer, they do. Can you briefly and very generally describe what those are? They are photographs of the crime scene located at 2103 West Volunteer Way. Sorry, guys. Can you briefly and very generally describe what those are? Okay, so I might as well just say it. So Becca Scoops is over here text messaging me. She's going to come up here and we're going to read these together. That way I don't have to do all the question, answer, so we can get through some of it. So I'm going to let Becca up as soon as she's ready. She said she needs a few minutes. Yeah, y'all go slap that like button, please. So Becca, whenever you get here, let me know and I'll give you the link. And when I drop the link, it's just for Becca. So we'll do an open panel when I have more time. Plus, Morbid will be live tonight, so we can hang over there too. All right. Oh, thank you, Green Eyes. You're amazing. We love you. My kid wants to go record a science video for him. All right, I'm going to keep reading. Slap it like it bought you dinner first. I like that. All right. Here we go. I'm going to keep reading until she's in the chat. So somebody scream at me once she gets here. All right. They are photographs of the crime scene located at 2103 West Volunteer Way. Question, and do these photos fairly and accurately depict that scene as you observed it on the 14th of June, 2015? They do. Mr. Whiteside, Your Honor, at this time, I would ask for the admission of States Exhibit 1 through 10. Mr. Stanfield, no objection, Your Honor. The court states Exhibit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Whiteside says, permission to publish, Your Honor. The court, permission to do so. Question, by Mr. Whiteside. Which, I just want to make it clear, Mr. Whiteside is for the prosecution and is with Mr. Patterson. Sir, if I can direct your attention to the TV screen, I'll show you what's been marked and admitted as States Exhibit 1. Can you please describe that? Answer. Yes, that's the overall of the exterior of the residence at 2103 West Volunteer Way. That will be the south side of the residence. So let me tell you guys this real quick. What I'm going to try to do for next time is to match up the crime scene photos they're talking about with the actual crime scene photos. Which, by the way, let me check that. How's my audio, by the way? Is that okay? Can you guys hear me well enough? Tickle that like button. So you can see it, you can visualize it, you can physically see what he's referring to here. I'll try to get as much as I can. Of course, there's some things they talk about which I cannot find, but some of these we can for sure. Okay. Yes, that's the overall exterior of the residence of 2103 West Volunteer Way. That will be the south side of the residence. Question. States Exhibit 2. Answer. That will be the same south side of the residence with numerics 2103. State Exhibits 3. Answer. That will be the entry from the front door looking down the long hallway to the north. Question. Facing the direction of this photograph, if we go to the right, where do we go? Answer. We would go into the dining room area. Question. And off to the side, that looks like perhaps the side of a refrigerator. Is that correct? Answer. Yes. If you go into the right, then go left, that will be the kitchen area. Question. Okay. And down the hallway, what would be on either side? If you went down the hallway to the far right, down to the northeast corner, that would be Claudine's bedroom. The far left bedroom would be Gypsy Rose's bedroom. Coming back this way to the first residence, south on the west would be the bathroom. And then there's another kind of storage room that's back south to the left here. Question, States Exhibit number 4. Answer, that will be the dining room area. If you walk in the front door, hang an immediate right, that's what you'd be looking at. Question, so from that previous picture, when you're looking down the hallway, if we went straight right, that's what we would see. Is that correct? If we went straight right. That is correct. Question, okay. And there on the right side of the wall behind the large blue bag, is that a table? Answer, it is a table. This is State's Exhibit number 5. Answer, yes, that's a close-up of the table if you were looking to the south. Now, see, this is why we need to bring the crime scene photos up, because I want to know what's so important that this is obviously, whatever he's referring to here, is important enough for him to lay down the foundation of something. Now, what that is, I don't really know. So we're going to have to go back and look at the kitchen table. Yes, that's a close-up of the table if you were looking to the south. Are there any items of particular interest on that table? Answer, there is. And if need be, if you'd please stand up and point to, and then he's answer, absolutely. Question, what you're going to speak to? Answer, item of interest would be the plastic tub with the blue gloves inside the tub. This is State's Exhibit number 6. Answer, that would be the plastic tub with a close-up picture. Question, the box that is on top. And when you say the plastic gloves, are you talking about the blue? Answer, yes. I can point to them. Question, if you would please. Answer, here are the blue disposable latex gloves here. Answer, okay, and on top of that, question, and what's on top of that? Answer, that is an insect fogger box. So, I mean, maybe he's he's just trying to point out that Gypsy gave Nick the gloves and that the gloves came from inside the house. State's Exhibit 7. Answer, that would be a close-up view with a ruler scale and evidence number 111 of the blue disposable latex gloves. Question, and that fogger box has been removed, is that correct? It has. Question, okay, and when you identify that as 111, you're doing it from a placard from the placard that has been placed on that. Answer, that is correct, sir. Okay, so I think they're trying to establish that the gloves came from inside the house. Question, what's State's Exhibit 8? Answer, that would be the bathroom, the one and only bathroom located within the residence itself. Can you please describe the flooring in the bathroom? Answer, yeah. The flooring is a tile flooring with a grout in between the tile. And the color? Answer, kind of a tannish. Question, off to the left there, it appears to be a clothes basket or laundry basket. Is that correct? Answer, correct. And that was there at the time of your initial walkthrough. Is that correct? Answer, correct. This is State's Exhibit number 9. Answer, that would be the bedroom located on the northeast portion of the residence I later identified as Claudinia Blanchard's room. Question, okay, when you first made entry into that room, were there lights on? Answer, there was a light on in the okay, so I found this to be interesting here. I don't know why, but this was interesting to me. There was a light on in the clothes closet. There's a double set of doors, and you could see a little bit of light illuminating through that. And then along the bed itself, the back of the backboard, there were some very small LED style lights that were illuminated. I just find that weird that there was a light on in there. How was there a light on in the closet, and David Blanchard didn't see the body in the bed. And then, like, I don't know. That's just strange to me that those little Harry Potter lights were turned on, those little twinkle light things. Hello, everybody. What? All right, I'm just going to keep going. Question. Show you what's been marked as State Exhibit number 10. Answer. That is an overall of the bed located in the bedroom on the northeast portion of the residence, Claudinia's bedroom, with the lights illuminated on the back of the headboard. Question. And although it may be difficult to see from afar, and although it may be difficult to see from afar, is there someone in that bed? Answer, yes. Question, and was that person identified? Answer, she was. And who was that? Answer, Claudinia Blanchard. Question, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State Exhibit 45, 46, 47, and 48. Would you please review those photographs, please? Recognize these? Answer, I do. Question, can you very briefly, very generally describe what these are? Answer, those are photographs of Claudinia Blanchard laying in her bed. Question, and do these pictures fairly and accurately depict what you found on the date on June 14th, 2015? Answer, yes. Mr. Whiteside, at this time, Your Honor, I'd ask for the admission of States 45, 46, 47, and 48. The court, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Stanfield says no objection for the purposes of this hearing, Your Honor. The court, States Exhibit 45, 46, 47, and 48 will be admitted into evidence. Question by Mr. Whiteside. Sir, I'm going to show you what's been admitted as States Exhibit 45. Can you generally describe that picture to the court? Answer. Yes, that is a picture of Claudinia Blanchard laying face down on her stomach, head slightly to the right. Let me turn my alarm off. Hold on. Question. And there appears to be all this color here. Could you determine what that was? Answer. Yes, we determined that was blood. Question. Now, it appears to be black in color, not red like normally people would think of blood. Answer. Correct. Question. And so how do you know that if it's black, how do you know that's blood? Answer. It had already gone through the drying process, so it changes color. Question. I'm going to show you what's marked as States and admitted as States Exhibit 46. Again, can you generally describe that? Answer, yes. It's a photograph from a different angle of Claudinia laying face down slightly to the right. And this would be a picture of blood. This would be a picture of blood to the right side of her chest on the back. Question, her arms. Can you describe the position of her arms? Answer, yes. Her arms were actually kind of up underneath her, kind of like this. And then he demonstrates how her arms, were up underneath her. Hey, Nevaeh. I'm glad you came in. Let me give you a wrench. All right. Was there something underneath her? Answer, no. Question. Show you what's marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 47. Answer, this is a picture of her back with the nightgown lifted up of numerous stab wounds. Question, and you say stab wounds. Are you speaking to these splotches? Answer, I am. Question, okay. Did you by any chance count how many you found? Answer, initially we estimated approximately 12. However, at the autopsy, they were able to get a more detailed and accurate number. Question, I'm going to show you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 48. Answer, this is a close-up of the back of Claudinia's head, basically the back of the neck, the base of her neck, and that was a deep cutting mark. Were you able to determine how deep that cut went? Answer, they were able to determine that at the autopsy, how deep the cut was. For us, it was very obvious by our observations at the crime scene that it was very significant cutting. Question, when you found Claudinia in the bed, did you check for vital signs? Answer, I did. Were you able to find any vital signs? I was not. No respiration? No. No pulse? No, sir. Question, anything else about her body that was indicative to her condition? Answer, her body appeared to be stiff at the time that I checked for a pulse. Question, so the overall condition of her person? Answer, she was deceased. Question, I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 21, 22, and 23. Please look at those photos. Do you recognize those? Answer, I do. Question, can you very briefly, very generally describe what these are? Answer, that is an envelope that contained a knife and bloody gloves. Question, okay, and you had personally observed these prior. Did you take these photographs? I'm sorry. Answer, I did. Question, you did? And do these photographs, do they fairly and accurately represent these items as you observe them? Answer, yes. Mr. Whiteside, Your Honor, at this time I would ask for your admission of States 21, 22, and 23. The court, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Stanfield says, we have no objection, Your Honor. The court, States Exhibit 21, 22, and 23 will be admitted into evidence. Question by Mr. Whiteside. Show you what's been marked and admitted as States Exhibit 21. Would you describe that to the court? Yes, that's an envelope that I was requested to photograph and open up to photograph the knife or the contents inside the envelope itself. Question, and where did and when you received this envelope, had it been open? Answer, no. Or was it still closed? Answer, it was still closed. Question, so this was a sealed envelope when you started processing it, correct? Correct. Question, with regard to the address, please state that. Answer, that is the send to address for Nicholas Godejohn, south of Cherry Street, Big Bend, Wisconsin. And based upon your knowledge of the investigation, is that the same address where a search warrant in Wisconsin was served? Answer, yes. Question, With regard to the return address, answer, that would have been the Blanchard residence at 2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri. Question, and that's the residence of all the photos that we've previously looked at. Is that correct? Answer, correct. Show you what's marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 22, and specifically the post date that is on the envelope. So they're talking about, of course, the envelope that, I don't know, Gypsy mailed. Do we have a definite answer on who actually wrote on the envelope? Because I could have sworn it was Gypsy. Okay, here we go. Hold on, brief break. Like, say Gypsy was the one that packaged and mailed the knife. That's what I figured. Unless she made him like put the return address and the mailing address. I don't know. Who is Trixie? I'm sorry, Trixie. I'm like, who is that and why do they have a ranch? Trying to remember. Old Trixie. All right, here we go. Show you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 22, and specifically the post date that is on the envelope. Answer, the post date is June 11th, 2015. Question, now you say this envelope was sealed when you started processing it. Did you open it? Answer, I did. And what were the contents of that envelope? Answer, it was another smaller envelope that had the end open. And within that envelope was a red and black knife with a plastic sheath covering it, and appeared to be a pair of blue latex disposable gloves. Show you what's been marked States and admitted as States Exhibit 23. Is that the contents of the envelope? Answer, it is. Question, so you say that's a pair of gloves there. Answer, it's at least one glove, possibly two. I did not pull those gloves apart, leaving that for the lab. Question, okay. And it's a little bit hard to get some perspective from the gloves. But about how long is that knife, your estimate? Answer, my estimate of the knife would be 11 inches. And that is again with the sheath on the knife. Is that correct? Answer, correct. End to end. Question, the handle of the knife, is that a hard handle, like a wood type handle, a metal type handle? Answer, no, it's a soft handle, kind of like a rubber handle. Mr. Whiteside, no more questions, Your Honor. The court, cross-examination. So here comes Mr. Stanfield, Gypsy's attorney. June 11th? No, she was killed on June 10th. June 11th. So prior to, no, the crime was on June 9th or 10th. So it would have been the day after. Y'all are, I don't know what Fancy has been saying, so I'm super confused at what y'all are talking about. I have no idea. I'm going to have to look in a minute. Fancy, what are you doing? All right, so here's Mr. Stanfield cross-examining Gypsy. No, the 14th is when they found the body, I do believe. All right, Mr. Stanfield. Yes, just a few questions, Your Honor. Cross-examination begins. Mr. Stanfield asking the question. Now, prior to going into the house with the search warrant, did you attempt to look through any of the windows of the house? Answer: I did not. You could not see in the you could not see in the windows. This is the answer. I swear these animals are driving me nuts right now. Go, kitty. Go, go. All right, question. Okay, and is that because I'm going to show you what is marked as number 5. The windows had some type of covering over all of them. Answer: yes. That window does have that type of covering. Question: did you find similar coverings on the other windows? Answer: some of the windows had sheets and different items over them. Question: but you were not able to see into the house through any of the windows? Answer: no, I didn't personally try. Question: remember, this is Mr. Stanfield, Gypsy's attorney. But to your knowledge, nobody was able to see through any of the windows? Answer: to my knowledge, no. Question: now, there was a box of blue rubber gloves shown in exhibits number 7 and 6, I believe. Yes. Did you find other items of medical equipment in the house? Medications, things like that. Answer: yes. So these were not necessarily out of place given the amount of medical equipment you found in the home. Okay, so what Mr. Stanfield is doing is he is trying to say that the blue gloves are not out of place in the home because there's tons of medical things in the home which require gloves. Hold on a second, please. All right, just one moment. Now my dog needs to go outside, of course. I don't think Becca's going to be able to come up. Her freaking gate broke or something. I don't know. And what kind? They don't even go into that. What kind of medications? There's no anything about medical fraud. But again, that's just a preliminary hearing. All right, let's see. Becca said she could come up tomorrow, so we'll just kind of wing it from here because now y'all got me all sidetracked with this damn fancy stuff. Fancy, why are you being a distraction? Don't be a distraction, Fancy. Come on now. All right. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Solo dolo up here. I've got to do a couple of things real quick, so please bear with me. We can put on some, where's this music that comes with the, hold on, guys. All right. Hold on. Hello, Bryn. I forgot what I was looking for.
I don't know.
Hold on. I'm like doing two things at once. That's why it's.
No, it's okay. Y'all tell me how my sound is.
You're on your phone.
For the moment. I think it's okay though.
I don't know. Maybe a little loud. I'll turn it down a little bit.
Huh?
Let me see. I'm fixing it. Hopefully, I'm fixing it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong.
All right, tell me now.
Wait. Also, Bethany said it. All right. Hold on. Say something. Dang it. It just, the bar keeps going back. Say something.
Bop, 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 bop.
All right. We'll see. That works so far.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're going to keep reading through this.
All right. Where are we at?
I don't know. I'm taking my time, okay?
No, I get it. This
I
is a
didn't
big
think yeah, but I
this
didn't
is
think
a
I was
big
going to
deal.
I didn't think I was going to be able to go live today, so it's kind of spur of the moment.
Hey, you know what though? I mean, I'm sure it's like a kid in a candy store though. You know, you finally retrieve this.
It is, but I want the damn exhibits now. I was like, now that I've read through this, I want more. But I've got to figure out what that is. So we'll see.
Well, I think we talked a little bit about that. And I mean, as far as people can go look up stuff and just be careful what y'all do out there. Your name will be put up on
Yeah.
the big screen. But
Yeah. I wonder if they'll take that down now.
I don't know. I don't know. I would
Oh,
think,
well.
but I think the
Don't even
exhibits
say anything about it. I don't know what
no,
you're talking about.
no, there's just a lot of anytime, like for
I'm so
Louisiana.
distracted by like what is
I know
going
you are.
on?
I know you are.
Yeah, everybody keeps bringing it up, so I've got to.
Okay. I can
What is
give
happening?
you well, I don't know is what's happened recently. I saw this and you know I'm genuinely like, about these documents. But I know that Fancy Smancy decided to say that you were on her video, she said that you were just quiet, so she's convinced that you're being paid by Morbid at this point.
I heard that she said something else.
She makes little jabs and, you know, puts the same video on all the different media, you know, YouTube, TikTok, wherever she can, and then she'll splice it, and then she'll make a short with the same circle jerk content. But besides her saying that she's convinced you're getting paid, uh, and that you're just
I wish I was getting paid.
that's what somebody asked me what Morbid paid people, and I said sarcasm and jokes. I mean,
Okay, so she's not like talking mad shit or anything. Like that's all she's done so far is say
to
that
the
Morbid
best of
pays me.
to the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay, well that's just dumb, Fancy. Nobody's paying me. Okay.
Now, if one of the whoever has seen something concrete or whatever, less, but the chatting about it like constantly, I know it's distracting. I know, I mean, we want to know it's a double-edged sword, but at the same time,
Fancy said if I was a real, I don't have to defend grown adults.
what
Okay, I have
that
to.
not everybody has a Mac. Sorry, just gonna throw that out there. I mean,
All
and nor
right,
is it
let me
necessary.
get back to this because one thing is she's always saying like it's all a distraction, it's all a distraction. Whatever.
Well, I think she probably also went live or something, maybe when you did, just to be
Like right now.
however petty. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been rolling in here with you. I don't know what's going on. I've been in the chat.
I don't fucking know.
But this is so maybe for the people that don't know, this was the preliminary hearing that was pretty much laying the foundation that if Gypsy would have gone to trial, this is kind of what this was.
Right. And she
So
did have some pre-trial hearings, so I'm going to see what those are about and maybe try to get those as well. But this was the first time that
yes.
Gypsy saw some of the evidence against her and, knew that she was screwed.
Well,
All
that's
right.
also, yeah, the whole, the claim didn't come out, or the aha moment didn't come out until after this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Stanfield. We're on cross-examination of I can't remember who the witness is right now, but one of the sergeants or something. One of
Okay.
I'd have to scroll up to remember, but
All right.
okay. So
Do you want to do the question answer? How do you want to do it?
can you even see it? Is the
Yeah, I can
question?
see it.
Okay. Let's see. I will read this and then I'll tell you when to pick up.
Okay.
So Mike Stanfield says, again, this cross-examination. If you didn't hear the rest, rewind. Question, but to your knowledge, nobody was able to see through any of the windows. Answer, to my knowledge, no. Question, now there was a box of blue rubber gloves shown in exhibit number 7 and 6, I believe. Yes. Did you find other items of medical equipment in the house, medications, things like that? Answer, yes. So you will be the answer. I'll ask the questions.
Well, it's still a question. So these were not
Right.
necessary. Okay.
So I'm
So
going
you're
to
gonna
ask.
be
Mhm.
you're gonna ask the questions?
Yes.
Okay, then your cue. So there
Yeah.
were
So these were not necessarily out of place given the amount of medical equipment you found in the home.
answer, not necessarily.
Question, were you able to establish whose handwriting was on the envelope?
Answer, no. My job was only to open the envelope and photograph the knife.
Question, and on exhibit 21, does it appear that volunteer is spelled incorrectly?
Answer, it does.
Question, and that is the street that Gypsy Blanchard had been living on for numerous years.
Answer, yes.
Mr. Stanfield, I have no further questions, Your Honor. The court redirect examination. Mr. Whiteside says no, Your Honor, so there's no redirect. Mr. Stanfield says, just one moment, Your Honor, I'm sorry. And then he says, no further questions, Your Honor. Nothing further. May the witness be excused? Yes. So the witness is excused. And let's see. Thank you. State may call its next witness, Mr. Patterson. It's going to step in the hall for just a second. Mr. Stanfield says, may we approach, Your Honor? And the court says yes. In parentheses, counsel approached the bench and the following proceedings were had. The court. The record will indicate at this time this is a discussion between counsel and the court outside the hearing of any witnesses and the parties in this case. Mr. Patterson, it appears someone in the gallery is posting on social media, but I don't believe they're posting any photographs. The court, if you can expand it larger, I'd ask all media representatives to please approach the bench over to the side. In parentheses, members of the media approach the bench. The court, the record will indicate at this time that there are representatives from a variety of media sources present at this side of the bench. I want to advise folks that I entered an order which I forwarded to media coordinator Hartley, which specifically prohibited any type of social media posting during the course of this hearing. I have obtained information that there have been social media posts by some news source at this hearing right now. I am directing that stop immediately and that you immediately delete all social media posts that have previously been posted on social media through the course of this hearing. Whatever you all need to do to immediately remove those from your Facebook postings or your social media postings is to be done right now, okay? Thank you all very much. Members of the media, exit the bench. The court. The record will now reflect that I am now conversing only with counsel, with the court reporter present, without media representatives being present. Anything else while we're here at the sidebar? Mr. Patterson? No, sir. Mr. Stanfield? No, Your Honor. The court. Was the instruction sufficient for both parties? Yes, sir. Yes, Judge. All right. Proceedings return to open court. The court. The court will remind folks who are in the gallery, either attorney or non-attorney, that there is to be no use of cell phones or any type of technology during the course of this hearing. Thank you. State ready to proceed? Mr. Patterson. Yes, sir. The court. You may call your next witness. Mr. Patterson. State calls Detective Stanley Hancock.
Yeah. Stanley
Mr.
Hancock.
Stanley Hancock. Was that the one who interrogated her?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because I can't remember. Okay, here we go. The court, sir, if you'd raise your right hand so they swear him in. Thank you. Direct examination by Mr. Patterson. So, question, will you state your name for the record, please?
Stan Hancock.
Question, how are you employed?
Answer, Greene County Sheriff's Office.
Question, how long have you worked for the Greene County Sheriff's Office?
Answer, 15 years.
And what is your current assignment?
CID Detective
Division.
Division. It says something in the middle. Oh, Detective Division.
Question, does that mean Criminal Investigations Division?
It does.
Question, and how long have you done that?
Answer, 2 years now.
Question, in June of 2015, specifically the 14th of June, did you become assigned to work on the investigation involving Dee Dee Claudinia Blanchard and her daughter being missing?
Answer, yes.
And ultimately the homicide?
Answer, yes.
Question, and what was your ultimate role in that investigation?
Answer, the lead investigator.
Question, as part of the investigation, did you have an occasion to go out to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Answer, yes.
And it's my understanding that the residence was searched pursuant to a search warrant.
Answer, it was.
Were you in the residence during the execution of that search warrant?
Answer, no.
When did you go into the residence?
Answer, after the search was completed.
Question, and did someone show you around the residence?
Yes.
Who was that?
Detective was somebody Jim Stanley. Detective Jim Stanley.
Who I believe was the first witness. Question, and was that after Detective Stanley and others had finished processing the residence?
Answer, that is correct.
Is it fair to say that you are familiar with the house?
Answer, yes.
And how it's laid out?
Yes.
And what the rooms look like?
Yes.
Was Gypsy Blanchard found at the house?
No.
Was Claudinia Blanchard found there?
She was.
And what was her condition?
She was deceased.
Did the sheriff's department continue to search for Gypsy?
Yes.
Were you able to locate her?
Yes, we were.
How were you able to locate her?
Through some Facebook information led us to Wisconsin, Big Bend, Wisconsin, to a residence there.
And whose residence was that?
Nicholas Godejohn's residence.
As part of the investigation, did the authorities in Waukesha County, Wisconsin assist you?
They did.
And did they apply for and receive a search warrant to search Nicholas Godejohn's house on Cherry Street?
They did.
And that's in Big Bend, correct?
That is correct.
And if you would take a moment, I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibits 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Would you take a moment and just flip through and look at each of those to yourself?
Okay.
Do you recognize what's depicted in that series of exhibits?
Yes.
And just very generally, what do those exhibits display?
Shows the residence in Big Bend on Cherry Street, shows a bedroom and some items that were collected. It shows the all over inside of the house.
And when you say items that were collected, you mean as part of the execution of the search warrant.
That is correct.
And do these pictures, aside from the fact that they're printed on regular paper and the colors maybe not perfect, do these fairly and accurately depict the house and the contents of it?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson says, I'd move to admit State's Exhibits 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Mr. Sandfield, no objection, Your Honor. The court will admit into State's Exhibits 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Question by Mr. Patterson. So here in State's Exhibit 11, what are we looking at?
We're looking at the front entrance and front of the residence on Cherry Street in Big Bend, Wisconsin.
And as I look at the single car garage over there to the left, on the right side looks like there's some, is that where the house address is?
That would be correct. The numbers are right there.
Now looking at State's Exhibit 12, are those numbers we were just talking about for the house address?
They are.
Looking at State Exhibits 13, what are we looking at here?
That would be the kitchen, dining room to the house, Big Bend on Cherry Street.
All right. Before we move to the next picture, I want to draw your and the court's attention to what appears like a sweatshirt or something over the back of a chair here. Now, looking at State Exhibits 14, is that same chair?
Yes, it is.
What is it that's in the seat of the chair?
There's a black billfold and a flip cell phone.
Okay, and that's going to be important. Basically, the flip cell phone is Nicholas's phone. And State Exhibits 15, is that the wallet and cell phone you've just described?
It is.
Are you familiar with the appearance of Nicholas Godejohn?
Yes.
If I zoom in on State's Exhibit 15, whose picture is it? On State Exhibit 15, whose picture is it that's on what appears to be a Wisconsin identification in the wallet?
That would be Nicholas Godejohn.
Was a cell phone collected as part of the evidence collected from the Wisconsin address?
Yes.
Did it remain in Wisconsin?
No.
What happened with the evidence that was collected at the Wisconsin address?
It was collected by Wisconsin Sheriff's Office and packaged and brought back here to Missouri, logged into the Greene County Property Sheriff's Office room.
And were you present during the execution of this search warrant in Wisconsin?
I was.
And did you transport the evidence back?
I did.
Once you got back to Greene County with the evidence, what did you do with it?
We logged it into the Greene County Sheriff's Office property room.
Can you just briefly describe what it means to log it into the sheriff's office property?
To label it, repackage it properly, just put it into the
And
evidence lockers and secure it.
as part of the search, was there a search of Nicholas Godejean's bedroom?
Yes, there was.
During the course of the investigation, did you become aware of how Gypsy and Nicholas got from Springfield to Wisconsin?
Yes.
Mr. Stanfield, Judge. So here comes Gypsy's lawyer.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
objection, hearsay.
yeah. Judge, I'm going to object on hearsay. The court, Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson says to explain his later actions. Court, for that limited purpose, I will overrule the objection.
Yes, I'm familiar with how they got from traveled.
Question, and how was that generally?
It was a Greyhound bus.
And as part of the investigation, was surveillance video from the bus station here in Springfield obtained?
Yes,
And have you had an opportunity to view that?
I have.
And when you view that, do you recognize Gypsy Blanchard in that surveillance video?
I do.
And have you had a chance to have contact with her personally?
Yes.
Do you see her here in the courtroom today?
I do.
Would you point her out and describe what she's wearing?
Oh,
She's that possum
I
looking
was about to say
creature.
that, Starlight. You took it. I was about to say the possum that's beating its eyes at us.
That
She's in the
stanky
black and white.
looking.
She's over there with the black and white uniform with the glasses. The boy looking girl. But there she is.
I lost my spot.
We're
Oh,
at
yeah, I found it now. Mr. Patterson, let the record reflect identification of the defendant. The court record will so reflect. Question, on the surveillance videos at the Greyhound bus station, does she have any items of luggage with her?
yes.
Can you briefly describe them?
It is a pink suitcase with a handle that rolls on wheels and a black color backpack style bag.
And did you find items consistent with the luggage in Nicholas Godejean's bedroom in Big Bend, Wisconsin?
I did.
And were those items seized?
Yes, they were.
Show you what's been admitted as State's Evidence 16, and I'm going to ask if you would step down, please, and stand to the right of the monitor there. The black backpack, where was it located?
Right here. This is Nicholas's bedroom upstairs, and the black
Faith book.
faith book bag is sitting right there.
Where? Okay. And what about the pink roller bag you described? Can we see it at all in this photograph, State's Exhibit 16?
Yes, it's right behind the crusty sheets. I mean, it's right behind the chair here, just right there.
Question, you can go ahead and retake your seat. Now, looking at State's Exhibit 17, is that chair that you were just pointing out just there to the right in this frame, and the pink bag there in the center?
Yes, that is to the right here or there. I can't see.
There, sorry.
There. Yeah, there. No, you're good.
And I think I can see a roller wheel from the roller bag down there at the bottom.
Yes, this bag right here is the she that was collected.
Is the one that was collected.
The one that was collected.
Question. Now, with regards to the Faith Book backpack, were the contents of the backpack searched pursuant to the search warrant?
They were.
Hold on, I'm trying to look on both screens so I can see what you're what you can't see. I should have made that watermark thing a little more see-through.
No, it's okay. There's just the tinier words,
Yeah.
like one, she, the, like that. Those I just get messed up on.
All right, here we go. Question. Show you States Exhibit 18. What are we looking at here, just in general?
This is the items that were found in the black faith book bag, which is up in the top of the screen right there.
I'm going to zoom in on this item right here. What is that black rectangular item?
That is a black and color LG touchscreen phone.
Okay, so for future reference, Gypsy is the LG phone. Nick is the I can't remember the name of
Flip
it right
phone.
now. The flip phone, but it's like it starts with a K. Okay,
The
question.
Nokia.
No, it starts with a K. I've never heard of it before.
It's one of those.
Kyocera,
Yeah,
something like that.
that's a phone that they give out for like Medicaid, Medicare,
Oh, it's like a government phone.
government phone. Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. And just for the record, it's sitting next to a box of complete allergy medicine. Is that right?
Where are we at? Oh, yes, that's correct.
And then just below the phone, what is that item there?
That is black duct tape.
Why's Gypsy got black duct tape in her backpack?
Where's the Mickey Mouse duct tape?
That was at home, I think.
I
wasn't
know.
it?
Yeah. Didn't pack it.
Question. And then down here in the lower right-hand corner, looks like perhaps there's some items of identification of some kind.
That is correct.
Now, looking at State Exhibit 19, is that a close-up of that area where the item of identification are?
It is.
Above them, what is this here?
That is a bag of money with nest egg savings on it in a plastic Ziploc bag.
Now, looking at State Exhibit 20, is that a further close-up of those items of identification?
Yes, it is.
Is there a Social Security card there?
There is.
Hold on. I actually have that. Let's put that on the screen really quick. Oh, there we go. I was using the wrong overlay. Okay, hold on. Where's that dang identification card? Maybe I deleted it. Nope, there it is. I think that was at her house, though. Anyways, this is just proof that she was well aware of her age. This is one of the identification cards she had on her. Date of birth, 7/27 of 1991. She had her Social Security card on her, which also had her real date of birth. So, just saying.
Sure did.
Now, looking at State Exhibits 20, is that a close-up of those items of identification? Even though we already read that, we're going to read it again.
Yes, it is.
Is there a Social Security card there?
There is.
What is the name that is on the Social Security card?
Gypsy Rose. I can't really make out the middle, but the last is Blanchard with an E for people that can't see.
Right, and I heard someone say if it was she had a Social Security card with Blanchard with an E. It is a long process to have your last name changed like that.
Yeah, it sure is.
With a Social Security card. I've had to have it done.
Yep, me too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where was it?
You're on 12.
And on the Missouri MC card below, what's the name?
Gypsy R. Blanchard.
I think you told me earlier that when you were in Big Bend, you had contact with the defendant.
I did.
Where was it you contacted her?
The Waukesha County Sheriff's Office.
And did you make observations about her appearance?
I did.
And did you document, in particular, the fingernail polish she had on?
I did.
I'm going to show you State Exhibit 24. Do you recognize what's depicted in that picture?
I do.
What is it in general?
It's the hands of Gypsy not facing outwards like this, and there's some pink.
Does that fairly and accurately depict the color of the fingernail polish the defendant had on that day?
It is.
And what day was that you contacted her?
That would have been on late evening of the 14th into the early morning of the 15th
Of June
of June.
2015.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson says, I'd move to admit State Exhibit 24. The court, any objection to the admissibility of State's Exhibit 24? Mr. Stanfield says, no, Your Honor. The court says State Exhibit 24 will be admitted into evidence. Question by Mr. Patterson. Now, looking at State Exhibit 24, can you see the pink fingernail polish we were discussing?
Yes.
I'm now going to show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 25, 26, and 27. Take a moment and flip through those 3 photographs.
Stanfield gets uppity.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Stanfield says, did you already show those to me, Dan?
Yes,
Mr.
they were in the stack.
Yeah, they were in the stack. Mr. Stanfield says, okay, just making sure. Question by Mr. Patterson. Do you recognize what's depicted in those
Yes.
photographs? Okay. And I'm also going to show you State's Exhibit, what's been marked as State's Exhibit 53 for identification, which is an item of physical evidence. Do you recognize what is packaged there?
Yes.
What is that?
That is an LG flip phone touchscreen, and it's the one in the picture that we found in the bag.
Question. Now, you said flip phone and touchscreen.
I'm sorry, touchscreen. I apologize.
Like a smartphone, like we
Yes.
think of. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's you.
No, it's okay.
And is it substantially the same condition as when you saw it seized in Wisconsin and then repackaged it here in Greene County?
Yes.
And State Exhibit 25, 26, and 27, do they fairly and accurately depict the packaging and the phone itself as well?
They do.
I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 25, 26, 27, and 53. The court, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Stanfield says,
Your Honor.
This is Gypsy's lawyer, Mr. Good old Mike Stanfield. Your Honor, I would object as to the physical phone. I believe the detective testified that the Wisconsin deputies are the ones who actually collected the evidence in this case. There's been no testimony that he was present or had anything to do with the collection. So, therefore, there's a breach in the chain of custody. The court, Mr. Patterson. It's a unique item. He testified he was there during the execution of the search warrant, and he just identified it in a photograph where it was. The court, the objection will be overruled. State's Exhibit 25, 26, 27, and 53 will be admitted into evidence. Question by Mr. Patterson. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 39, 40, and 41. Do you recognize in general what's depicted in these photos?
Yes.
What is it? What is it that's depicted there?
A Kyocera flip phone.
The Kyocera flip phone that you'd previously testified was seized from the chair in the dining room.
Yes.
Kitchen area. The State's Exhibit 54, what is that?
That is the Kyocera flip phone packaged.
Is that the packaging that you repackaged it in after you transported it from Wisconsin back to Greene County?
That is correct.
And is it in substantially the same condition, the packaging, as it was when you seized it?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson, I'd move to admit State's Exhibits 39, 40, 41, and 54. The court, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Stanfield. Same objection, Your Honor. If he didn't physically collect it, he can't testify that it's the exact same phone that's in that photograph. The court. Is your argument the same, Mr. Patterson? Mr. Patterson, it is. The court. The objection will be overruled and states Exhibit 39, 40, 41, and 54 will be admitted into evidence. Question by Mr. Patterson. And just so that we're all clear, the flip or the smartphone, the LG phone, was taken from the black bag in the bedroom, aka Gypsy's backpack.
That is correct.
That had Gypsy's identification.
That is correct.
And the Kyocera flip phone was taken from on top of Nicholas Godejohn's wallet in the kitchen area.
That is correct.
Okay, so what they're doing is laying the foundation that this is Gypsy's phone, here's the proof. This is Nick's phone, here's the proof, and they were communicating with each other. All right. During the search in Wisconsin, was an item of mail seized as well?
It was.
And where had the item of mail been mailed from?
From the Possum, Springfield, Missouri, off of Volunteer Way.
And where had it been mailed to?
Big Bend, Wisconsin, on Cherry Street.
During the investigation, did you become aware of what the contents of that piece of mail
Yes.
was? In general, what was in it?
A knife.
And at some point, did you have Detective Jim Stanley photograph that knife?
Yes.
Now, when he photographed it, how was it? Can you describe?
It was in another envelope with a blue glove inside of it.
And was the blade bare?
No, it had a sheath on it, black in color sheath.
And has that knife been given to the Highway Patrol lab to process?
It has.
At some point, did you go back out to the lab to take a picture of the knife without the sheath on it?
I did.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 23-23A for identification. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is it?
That's the knife that was in the packaging.
With the sheath removed now?
That is with the sheath removed, yes.
And is this a photo that you took? Is this a photo that you took we were just talking about?
That's correct.
That you took, whatever. And does it fairly and accurately the knife with the sheath removed?
It does.
I'd move to admit I may not have shown you this. I can't remember. Mr. Baker says we saw it. State's Exhibit 23A. The court, Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Stanfield says no objection, Your Honor. The court admits the evidence. Question. Sir, just quickly here, if we look at State's Exhibit 39, that's the packaging for the flip phone we are talking about.
That is correct.
And 40, is that the flip phone from the kitchen area on top of the Godejohn wallet?
That is correct.
And 41, a picture of the flip phone flipped open?
Yes.
25, what is that a picture of?
That's the outside packaging when I packaged it up of the LG.
Sorry, I'm trying to get me a snack here. Need some snacks. Okay.
Need some snacks.
Need some snacks.
Yeah.
That's the outside packaging when I packaged it up. Oh, that's you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay.
Oh, I can read it again if you need me to.
Go ahead and read it again.
That's the outside packaging when I packaged it up of the LG.
And I noticed it says, quote, Hancock S. That's you?
That is correct. And that is DSM 154.
26. What is that?
That's the LG phone that was found in the black Faith book bag.
The bag that also had identification for the defendant?
That is correct.
And then State Exhibit 23A.
That is the knife that I took photos of.
And I think you can tell this a little bit in the picture with the scabbard on it because it's got some holes in it. But it appears to me that it has a serrated blade across the top. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You mentioned Facebook. Did the sheriff's office obtain some business records from Facebook?
They did.
And was there an account that appears to have been used by the defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Your Honor, at this time, I'd ask that you take judicial notice of the fact that on the 14th of July, the state filed a notice of intent to rely on business records, including the Facebook records. And on that date, the records in the business records affidavit were personally served upon the defense. The court. Mr. Stanfield, any objections to me taking judicial notice of that? Mr. Stanfield, not to the fact that the business record affidavit was filed, but we do have objections to what's contained in the record. So they have a problem. Mr. Stanfield has a problem with what was said on the Facebook.
That's why they invoked the rule in the first place. If nobody
Mhm.
knows what that is, anybody that could have heard Gypsy's little naughty stuff, they had to leave the courtroom. That happened to me when I went through divorce. They invoked the rule because he didn't want his family to hear all the things that had happened. So
Ooh.
that's what that means. Everybody that is a witness or is going to give character witness or basically that knows her, they
Mhm.
had to leave the courtroom. So they weren't allowed to be in there.
Okay, let me see where I was at. The
You're
court.
at the court, yeah.
The court will take judicial notice of the notice of intent to utilize business records from Facebook, which was filed on July 14th of 2015, with service having been made of those records upon defense counsel. All right, question by Mr. Patterson. And you've reviewed the records that are in State's Exhibit 44, correct?
That is correct.
And they're just a portion of all of the Facebook records. Is that correct?
Yes.
Within these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of records, are there postings of photographs?
Yes, there is.
Mr. Stanfield says, Judge, I'm going to object to testifying to what's contained in the record as hearsay. Mr. Patterson says, I'm laying the foundation for the relevance. The court, I'm going to overrule the objection at this time and allow a limited examination for the purposes of foundation only. Mr. Patterson says, thank you. All right. And within these pages of Exhibit 44, are there 2 photographs in particular attached to it?
There is.
And do you recognize the person who's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
Who is it? Mr. Stanfield, same objection, Your Honor. The court, Mr. Patterson, at this time, how is the witness not testifying to the contents of evidence which have not been admitted, Mr. Patterson? Well, I haven't shown. I have to lay the foundation that they're relevant for them to be relevant. There has to be a connection to the defendant, and we don't have a jury here. Mr. Stanfield, well, Your Honor, whoever is depicted in the photograph, I don't see how that necessarily ties to the defendant at all. Anybody can post a photograph of anybody on the internet. Mr. Patterson, I will tie it up in more than one way. The court, the objection at this time will be overruled. Mr. Patterson says, question to the witness. With regard to one of those postings, the second of which, are there comments to the posting?
There is.
And just brief, are you familiar with Facebook?
Yes.
And so if I post a picture, when I say there's a comment, what does that mean in just in general terms? Mr. Stanfield, Judge, I'm going to object. I don't know that he's qualified to start testifying as to how Facebook works. Mr. Patterson says, I think we all know. I don't know that the court does, but I think most people know how Facebook works. We're not talking about computer science. We're talking about just in general how comments are associated with photographs. Mr. Stanfield, Mr. Baker has no idea how it works, Judge.
Oh
The
my gosh.
Judge says, I'll allow the witness to testify as to his knowledge of how Facebook works, and I'll allow you, Mr. Stanfield or Mr. Baker, to cross-examine his knowledge of that medium.
Oh. Basically, you make your own account, and once you get that account, you accept or decline friends, and it's a way to communicate, post pictures and communications, and just communication through Facebook.
All right, hold on. I need a second.
No, it's okay. I do too.
All right. How's everybody doing in the chat? I'm going to hit my vape. Nicotine, by the way.
Same. Give me like 40 seconds.
We should appreciate you for joining us today with this little... Oh, where's my stupid watermark? Okay, so here's the thing. If you weren't here earlier...
I was going to say something, but I didn't want to be
You
rude.
should have told me, damn it.
I didn't want to be rude. Well, it was only, to be honest, it's only been about 10 minutes. It hasn't been terribly long.
Okay, the only reason, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh,
No,
gatekeep anything.
These documents are expensive. Like, you have to pay per page. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, it was
yes. And it was like,
$250.
yes, I think it was $2 a page. I can't remember.
Exactly. That was a good time to plug your QR code and drop all the linkies.
Yeah, if y'all want me to
Drop a
FOIA
tip.
some more shit, but I need to call Greene County next and see about getting the actual evidence that went along with the prelim. We'll see. There's some other, Into the Weeds podcast has put in some FOIAs, so we shall see what happens. All right. Let me hit my vape one more time before we start
Same.
back. Thank you, Carissa. I'll make sure to check because I don't always check my stuff before I close out, and I'll make sure I do that because I want to make sure to tell you guys thank you if you do send anything. There's a little QR code up there in the corner if you so feel inclined. Hey, Phaedra. Hey, Jan.
I'll drop the link to the QR in case people are having issues. It goes right to her PayPal and her Cash App and the channel, and then I'll be ready to roll again.
All right, here we go.
Right there.
All right, let's see, where were we?
Stanfield
Okay,
throwing a
question.
fit.
Is he still throwing a fit?
He was throwing
No,
a fit
we're
about...
still back to it. Well, did I read in the second of these two pictures on page 123 of the business records, and I'm using the page number in the top right-hand corner, a picture of the defendant. Is there a comment by Nicholas Godejohn? Mr. Stanfield, Judge, I'm going to object. How do we know the comment is from Nicholas Godejohn? Mr. Patterson, I have to lay the foundation. You have to be able to draw logical inferences. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Inferences based on the evidence to get to its admissibility. If I can't lay the foundation, and the judge says the objection will be sustained. So, Mr. Patterson says, are there also comments in a posting by the owner of the account with regard to travel?
Yes.
I didn't. Oh, wait, Mr. Patterson. I didn't ask these specifics. I only asked if there are. Makes it relevant. Did we miss it? Oh, Mr. Stanfield objected again. And then the judge says it is a question as to the content of the subject matter of the posting. Therefore, the objection is sustained. Question by Mr. Patterson. Are you familiar with aliases used by the defendant?
Yes.
Is one of them Ruby? Oh, and then Mr. Stanfield. Judge, I'm going to object. How do we know that's an alias used by her? The judge says, what foundation has been laid as to that, Mr. Patterson? Mr. Patterson says, throughout the course of the investigation, have you received records of the defendant that indicate she goes by the name Ruby?
Yes.
When you look at these records, are there items in it that lead you to believe that these records are connected to the defendant? Mr. Stanfield, Judge, I'm going to object. How is that even relevant to whether he believes that they're connected to her? The issue is that Mr. Patterson has to lay a foundation connecting my client to those postings. Anyone can create an account under anybody's name. We've heard no testimony that there's any verification that any of this information came directly from my client. And that's what's required for admissibility. His opinion as to whether they came from her or not is irrelevant. The judge. Well, at this point, there's been no testimony that anybody can make an account for anyone else on Facebook. That's a statement of yours, not evidence at this time.
Ooh,
At the
sick
same
burn.
At the same time, though, Mr. Patterson, I'll hear from you as to the objection. Mr. Patterson, it goes to weight of the evidence, not to admissibility. The business records are admissible. They've been authenticated as business records of Facebook. The court. Business records are admissible under the business records affidavit. That does not preclude them from being objected to on other grounds. They've not been offered at this time. Mr. Patterson, I would offer State's Exhibit 44 as business records of Facebook, subject to me showing the court that they are relevant based on their content. The court, Mr. Stanfield? Mr. Stanfield, the same objection, Your Honor. Mr. Patterson, they are apparently records of Facebook. However, Mr. Patterson's intentions is to use what's in them as statements of my client. However, he's laid no foundation to prove that anything that was written in there was, in fact, written by my client or statements of any other people. There's statements not only from one person, but from multiple people in there. What does that mean?
He went on a tangent. He just knew, because that's
Yeah,
why
he doesn't want
Mr.
them to see the
Patterson,
Facebook
no,
messages.
Mr. Patterson made that statement for
Oh, Mr.
everybody.
Patterson, yes.
Well,
yes.
no, at the beginning, that's why he made the statement about Facebook business and how that entangles how business has to report things. And that's one of the first things he said before he went into the whole Facebook thing. Basically showing that businesses have to show records and logs and that stuff like that. That's why he made that statement at the beginning of this whole.
Right. The court. Can I review State's Exhibit 44, please? Mr. Patterson, yes, sir. And as you do that, I'll let you know that there are other exhibits I intend to introduce, which will also, when you look at the totality of the evidence, will show why this is relevant. Mr. Stanfield said, and I will just say, Your Honor, I'm unaware of the totality exception to the hearsay rule. The court. State's Exhibit 44 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Stanfield, does that mean that any hearsay objections going forward will be overruled, Your Honor? He said, the judge says no. Mr. Stanfield, okay, so it's just admitted for the purposes of the business record, but not for the statements contained therein, the judge says. At what point are you offering it at this point, Mr. Patterson, as to all of its contents as well? Mr. Patterson says, yes, sir. The judge says, any additional objections you wish to make then? Mr. Stanfield says, if I could have a moment to take a look at it again, Your Honor. Mr. Patterson says, may I approach while they're reviewing? Do you have some exhibits and photographs? Do you still need those? Mr. Stanfield says, I still lodge the same objection, Your Honor. This is Aiken. I don't know. What the fuck does that mean? To phone calls, emails, things of that nature. And simply because something comes from a particular phone number, email address, does not say anything to the person who actually authored it. And that's what it's being offered for. The truth of is that was, in fact, authored by my client. And Mr. Patterson has not put forward any evidence that there's any way to prove that. If it can be proven at all, and so, therefore, it's not only hearsay, but he can't even lay the foundation that it's my client who's making the statement. And he's also offering statements of people who he's not even claiming are my client that we can't identify specifically either. The court, Mr. Patterson says, the logical inference of the contents of this document, which is properly authenticated, when you look at the photographs and the postings attributed to a person with a very similar name to the defendant and photos of the defendant, lead one to the logical conclusion that these are postings made by her. It goes to the weight of the evidence, not its admissibility. When you consider a piece of evidence, you have to determine whether it's relevant in its totality and whether it's authenticatable. And here, when you look at the photographs and the postings, the logical inference is that these postings are made by the defendant. The court determines that the evidence is relevant and as a whole will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 44, and the court will give it the weight which it is to be accorded. All right, Mr. Patterson asks the question, with regard to Facebook, are you familiar with what it means to be a friend on Facebook?
Yes.
Can you just describe that really generally?
You get a hit or save on the computer, your cell phone, or whatever electronic device from that person saying that they want to be your friend, and you can confirm or deny, delete it or deny it.
Question. Show you on page 32. In the top right-hand corner of the record, who does it show in the yellow highlighting to be a Facebook friend?
Nicholas Godejohn.
And I started to ask this question to you earlier, but is there a posting dealing with being packed and readying oneself for a trip?
Yes.
If we look at that posting, would you read the date and the content of the posting? It's back out here a little bit.
On my birthday, it's dated 5/22 of 2015, and it states, I'm pretty much packed, clothes, personal information, papers, trinkets. Yep, I'm all ready. End quote.
January, February, March, April, May.
May 22nd. Yep.
See, and I was looking through my stuff, and on May 21st, 2015, so it would have been the day before that, she posted pictures of her and Nick, not together, just pictures of them. And it's like, her account was Nicholas Bella Rose, is with Nicholas Godejohn. All right, so, and then there's like a less than sign and a couple of loops. Do you know what that is?
I do.
What is that? That's
basically a heart. It's a...
like you make, if you don't have a fancy cell phone, you make like an emoticon out of it.
Correct.
Emojo. Less than sign. Something else?
Less than sign and a 3 sign. If you turn it up, it will be the shape of a heart.
And you said there were photos posted in these records that are the defendant.
That is correct.
Looking at the yellow there, does that show that one of those photos was posted on May 22nd of 2015?
Yes,
That's on page 29 of the record. Then on page 161 of the record, is that the photograph of the defendant that was posted on that day?
it is.
And then is there a later photo posted on May 27th?
Yes,
I'm looking at page 123 of the records. Is that the photo that was posted on May 27th?
it is.
And is that the one with comments?
Yes, it has comments on it.
Comments from Nicholas Godejohn?
That is correct.
When were they supposed to go to the movies together?
They went and didn't they go in March?
I think you're right, yeah. Comments from, I already said that. Responded to by the user Nicholas Bella Rose,
That is correct.
referring to herself as Ruby.
Yes,
And again, we see the emoticons with the less than sign in the two loops.
yes, we do.
Did the sheriff's office also obtain business records of the yellow cab company in Springfield?
Yes,
Mr. Patterson. Again, Your Honor, these records were provided by notice of intent 10 days in advance of the hearing to the defense, and I'd move to admit them pursuant to the business record rule. And again, if I didn't say so, it's Exhibit 43. The court, Mr. Sandfield, any objections? Mr. Sandfield says no objection, and they admit that. Any objection to the admissibility? No. Okay, no objection. As part of those yellow cab records, do they have the log of a cab driver, Sherry M., starting in the evening of June 9th and ending in the early morning hours of June 10th?
yes,
And is there a trip on the early morning of June 10th to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
there is. Yes,
And where was that from?
that was from the business records that the cab company keeps.
Now, showing you what's page 1 of the records that are being introduced in State's Exhibit 43, we see at the top where it says Yellow Cab Mobile Radio Log, correct?
That is correct.
And then down at the bottom, highlighted in yellow, what is the time of the trip from Days Inn to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
1:57 in the morning on the 10th of June.
And arriving at
2:06 a.m. on the 10th of June.
hold on a second. Okay, that's about right. With regard to the LG, remember the LG phone is Gypsy cell phone, the smartphone that was seized in the defendant's bag in Nicholas Godejohn's bedroom. Did the sheriff's office have that examined by a cell phone examiner?
The Waukesha County Sheriff's Office did, yes.
And once it was back here, though, did you have someone look at the actual contents of the phone pursuant to a search warrant?
Yes,
And are you aware that there were photographs of the resident at 2103 West Volunteer Way found on the phone?
yes,
And as well as a video?
yes,
And have you seen those things?
yes,
And when you look at them, are they a fair and accurate depiction of Claudinia's bedroom there at 2103?
yes,
Both the photos and the video.
yes,
And is there also a picture of the knife? Are you aware that there's a picture of what seems to be the same knife as we've already looked at? Now, did y'all hear that? Okay? So, what I take away from what we're reading is that Gypsy was taking photos in Dee Dee's bedroom with the same knife that she gave Nick to murder her.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I don't think Mr. Stanfield's seasoned enough to understand high school criminal justice, let alone being a practiced defense attorney.
I need to see these pictures. I want to, like, that is crazy to me. Like, I
I
never thought about when did Gypsy steal the knife? How long did she have the knife before?
I think the video is the one of her giving him instruction on
No,
how
because
to.
I went back to look at that video and there's nothing in her hand.
Maybe the
Because
video
I
was in
thought the same
reference to
thing.
that, but maybe there was a photo. I don't know. There's also some things, yeah, of course, that aren't going to be in uh the stuff that everybody's glazed over 1,000 times. But
Really interesting to me. We're gonna read that. We're gonna read it again. Okay.
let's do it.
Let's see. Did you have someone look at the actual contents of Gypsy's phone pursuant to a search warrant?
Yes.
And are you aware on Gypsy's phone there were photographs of the residents at 2103 West Volunteer found on the phone, on
Y-
Gypsy's phone,
yes.
and as well as a video on Gypsy's phone?
Yes.
And have you seen those things on Gypsy's phone?
Yes.
And when you look at them, are they a fair and accurate depiction of Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard's bedroom at 2103?
Yes.
Both the photos and the video from Gypsy's phone.
Yes.
And is there also a picture on Gypsy's phone of the knife? Are you aware that there's a picture of the what seems to be the same knife as we've already looked at? And what other knife have they already looked at? The one that was in the mailing package that they mailed to Nick's house, the same one that he murdered her with.
Yes.
And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the same knife that you took a picture of? Mr.
Here he comes.
Stanfield, yeah, Mr. Stanfield's had enough. He said, Judge, I'm going to object. He's testifying as to the contents that have not been admitted into evidence.
He just told on himself right there. What a
Mhm.
dumb. God, he's like a terrible defense attorney.
The judge says, Mr. Patterson says, I'm laying a foundation. I'm going to introduce it through another witness. Mr. Stanfield, Your Honor, he can show him the document and ask him if that's what it depicts, or he can enter it through another witness, but he's asking him to testify openly in front of the court about what's in the document. The court. The objection will be sustained. So they sustain that one.
Yep.
Mr. Patterson, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as States Exhibit 31, 32, and 33. Take a moment and look at those to yourself. Do you recognize what's depicted in States Exhibit 31, 32, and 33?
Yes.
In general, what does that appear to be a picture of?
The house on Volunteer Way and somebody, Gypsy, holding a knife.
Y'all hear that? The house on Volunteer Way and somebody holding a knife. Gypsy holding a knife. All right, question. And now, looking at States Exhibit 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 30-A, B, and C, take a moment and flip through those. In general, what's depicted in those exhibits?
It's a bedroom and it's Claudinia Dee Dee Blanchard's, or I'm sorry, Petrie's bedroom.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the bedroom of Claudine at 2103 West Volunteer?
Yes.
And you've watched the video that's associated with the phone as well?
Yes.
And does it fairly and accurately depict the bedroom at 2103 West Volunteer Way?
It does.
Nothing further of this witness. Mr. Stanfield, do you want to do a cross-examination? He says yes. So now I am Mr. Stanfield. Mr. Mike Stanfield, no ass.
Prepare to dumb your
Stanfield.
brains down, everybody.
All right. Question. Just so we're clear about the evidence that you've just testified about, the photographs and the video from the cell phone, you stated that the phone was collected by Waukesha County Sheriff's Department.
That is correct, dumbass.
And they took it into their custody,
That is correct.
and they examined the phone prior to you coming into contact with it.
They looked at it, yes.
They looked into the phone,
As far
into the contents of the phone.
as I know, yes.
So prior to you getting to the phone, somebody else went in and looked around in the phone?
I would assume so, yes.
And do you know, is that person going to be here today?
I don't see him here in the courtroom today.
Now, you are still continuing to investigate this case.
That is correct.
And as a matter of fact, I learned from the news leader a little bit ago that you served another search warrant today.
That is correct.
And so there's still a lot of things about this case that you don't know?
Stuff that I haven't finished going through, that would be correct.
Okay, you're still searching for things.
That is correct.
Now, have the officers and yourself submitted your reports up to this point, though?
No, not yet.
You've not submitted any reports to the prosecutor on this case?
No, my personal reports, no.
Okay. What about the other officers?
I don't know who all submitted reports, but I don't think there's any that's been submitted as of yet.
I lost my spot for a second.
You're on
Okay.
11. You're on 11.
11, 11,
Mhm.
11. Okay. Okay, well, you're the lead detective, correct?
That's correct.
And as the lead detective, you go through every report that's completed and submitted in a case.
Completed. That is correct.
Have they been submitted to you yet?
Nope.
Now, you testified a moment ago about exhibit number 16, and exhibit number 16 shows the backpack and the pilot case, the pink pilot case, which he's talking about the pink roller backpack thing, whatever, luggage.
Okay.
And you testified that you saw on that video that Miss Blanchard was carrying that through the bus station. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you found those same articles in Mr. Godejohn's bedroom?
That is correct.
How many days elapsed between the time of the video and the time that you opened the contents of the bag?
Do you have a calendar that I could look at so I could be accurate to it?
Oh, actually, I don't. I have my phone turned off. Do you know the dates that it occurred on?
The dates of the video?
The video and then the search warrant, or the execution of the search warrant.
There's a video on the 11th and the 12th.
Okay.
Then the 14th, they were taken into custody in Waukesha.
So at least a couple of days.
Correct.
And you're not aware of what was in the backpack when Gypsy was going through the bus station.
Correct.
And you have no idea who placed any of those items in the backpack.
Correct.
Or that those items you found in the backpack were the same items the day that she was in the bus station.
Correct.
Now, the knife that's been testified about, have you determined where that knife is sold?
Yes.
Where is it commonly sold?
Wally World, Walmart.
And you actually obtained a large amount of video footage from the sporting goods section of Walmart. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You were searching to see if Miss Blanchard appeared purchasing that knife.
Yes, I looked at the video. Yes.
Okay, have you completed that?
No.
Okay, thus far, have you found Miss Blanchard on that video?
I can't say that I have.
No, because she stole it.
Yep.
She didn't buy it, she stole it.
Can't say I
And
have.
and
I haven't
now
said
we
I
don't know
have.
when. How long did she have that knife for before? I don't know.
Right.
Crazy. Um, where are we?
19.
Do you think she's going to be on there?
Just from a statement that was made?
Like he's saying yes, right? That's how I take it. Like,
Yeah, just from a
yes, I
statement
think
that was
I'm gonna find her there from a statement that was made, which is probably from Nick's interrogation when he said that she stole the knife from Walmart.
it's like he just came in here and just went. It's like he didn't even look at anything. It's insane to me.
Yeah, I'm really not that impressed by Patterson either, to be quite honest.
I can say he at least tried to lay some sort of a foundation, but it was so.
But he's not laying down the foundation of, well, that's why I want to get the other, see what else is out there that happened after this, because I want to know what his defense strategy was going. I mean, sorry, his prosecution strategy was.
In my
Like,
opinion, there was more than one case. There was a federal case, a state case going on for the fraud and the all that stuff. Like they had been looking into them for a while. And I think corruption, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, um, you know, they had a pretty keen idea as to what Dee Dee and ultimately Gypsy at this point in time was up to and the fraud and stuff. So
yeah, I don't know. I want to know if he was going to bring in the manipulation, of Nicholas.
well, as far as I don't understand how he was going full throttle and just went for first degree looking at the, what, penalty
Yeah.
to 10. I mean,
Mhm.
it's election year.
Yeah, I don't know. Love to have a chat with you sometime, Mr. Patterson. All right, let's see. Um, where were we?
We are on 23. No, 20, 21.
Okay, so somebody told that you what? So somebody told that she did
That she did what?
that she went and purchased the knife.
Yes.
And that unknown person, they couldn't tell you the date or the time.
Well, I know who said it, so,
Okay.
but no, they couldn't tell me the date or time.
But so far that hasn't panned out.
Not as of yet. There's still several videos.
Okay, how many of the 14 videos have you gotten through? Mr. Patterson, objection, relevance to probable cause. The court, how is this not going beyond the scope of probable cause statement hearing? Mr. Stanfield, well, Your Honor, at this point, I don't know anything about the discovery.
Oh my
The
God.
limited amount of time that I've had between the 10,000 pages of Facebook records and the 14 videos, I clearly have not had enough time to watch. So I'm just trying to figure out where the detective is. The court. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is not to ascertain at what point the investigation is, but solely to determine whether there's probable cause to believe that a crime was committed and that the defendant committed it. The objection will be sustained.
This is a big piece. Everybody remember that. Like this page 68, 19 through 24, that's a big deal. Like you're not trying to this isn't a trial. This is to show that she did what she did to take it to trial.
Sorry, This is what determined that she would go to trial.
Correct.
All right, let's see, Mr. Stanfield. Have you had a chance to go through all of the Facebook records?
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Which ones have you gone through? Mr. Patterson, Your Honor, again, I object. It's not relevant to probable cause. Mr. Stanfield says, well, I have a specific question, Your Honor, that may go to probable cause. So I need, and the judge says, then I'll let you ask your specific question. Mr. Stanfield says, okay. And then he asks his question. As
Oof.
of yet, have you found any statements from Miss Blanchard asking Mr. Godejean to come kill her mother?
Yes.
Specifically,
Not.
Miss Blanchard saying to Mr. Godejean, come kill my mother.
Not in those exact words. No, not in those exact words.
Not in those exact words.
Correct.
So you have found statements from Miss Blanchard to Mr. Godejean. Mr. Patterson's objecting, hearsay.
Why? Why would you do that, man?
Because
Sorry.
I don't think the guy's allowed to. He doesn't have the what she said in front of him. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, I get that, but I mean, this is again just to determine if she did what she did. This is
Right.
just to determine her going to trial. I don't know why
Mhm.
Patterson would have objected. He's on the.
Yeah. I would
Sorry,
say
I'm really into.
no. I like this stuff. I've already read it twice, so this is my third time to read it. I would say that's what's good for the goose is good for the gander at this point, Your Honor. Judge
Yeah,
says if the statement had been made, it would be an admission by the defendant, and therefore the objection is, Mr. Patterson, only if admitted by the state. Okay.
okay.
The judge says the objection is overruled. So, Mr. Stanfield, so you're telling me you found a statement from Miss Blanchard to Mr. Godejean telling him to come kill her mother?
Not in those exact words. No.
Okay, what words did she use then?
I don't have that in front of me to refresh my memory. So
You're the lead detective in a homicide case. And then Mr. Patterson objects, argumentative. That was sustained.
mhm.
Are you the lead detective in this case?
Yes, Mr. Douchebag.
And you can't recall this statement?
Not a particular statement at this point. No.
Even a statement that you believe is her admitting that she wants her mother killed?
I wouldn't want to do it with exactly quoting it.
Okay, Mr. Patterson didn't ask you about that, did he?
Not today, no.
Okay, well, whether she asked Mr. Godejean to come kill her mother, isn't that the whole reason we're here today?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson, Your Honor, I object. Legal conclusion, speculation, and hearsay. The court sustained on all those grounds. Now, you interviewed Gypsy Blanchard, isn't that correct?
Yes.
During that interview, did she admit to you anything you remember? Your Honor, I object. Hearsay. Judge, Mr. Stanfield, Your Honor, it's the statement of my client. If she had confessed, I think we would be hearing about that. I'm simply asking him if that happened. Mr. Patterson, well, one, I object. I get to choose what evidence I put on. Whether she confessed or not is irrelevant to what the evidence is. The law is that the statement of a defendant can only be introduced by the state. It cannot be introduced by the defendant as a self serving statement unless first introduced by the state. Mr. Stanfield says it's only self serving if she didn't confess, though, Your Honor. Mr. Patterson, it's not an admission unless it's offered by the party opponent. The judge says objection will be sustained. Mr. Stanfield, no further questions, Your Honor. Redirect. Mr. Patterson does a redirect. The LG cell phone, or question by Mr. Patterson on redirect. The LG cell phone, which is Gypsy's cell phone, when was it forensically examined?
Earlier this week, from what I can remember.
By whom?
By Officer Costello.
And he works for who?
The Springfield Police Department.
Was that pursuant to a search warrant?
It was.
When you say the Waukesha Police Department looked at the phone, what do you mean?
Before they packaged it up, they observed the phone and packaged it up.
Like they held it and looked at it?
Correct.
Not that they forensically evaluated it?
No.
Nothing further. Recross with
Gosh.
Mr. Stanfield. Detective, other than looking at the outside of the phone, did they turn the phone on?
That I couldn't tell you.
You don't know?
No, that I couldn't tell you.
Did they look at the contents at all of the phone?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so you don't know what they did with the phone actually.
That they collected it, looked at it, packaged it. That's all I can tell you.
But it's possible they could have done... So it's possible they could have done those things.
I can't speak for them, but it could be possible.
Mr. Stanfield, thank you. No questions, Your Honor. Any additional questions? Mr. Patterson? No, sir. No, Your Honor. Can the witness be excused? Yes, the witness is excused. Now we have... Where is it? State calls Michael Costello, and he's sworn in. Now, Mr. Patterson, state your name for the record.
Michael Costello.
How are you employed?
I am the computer forensic examiner for the Springfield Police Department.
What does it mean to be a computer forensic examiner?
I analyze digital evidence for criminal cases.
And does that include examination of cell phones?
Cell phones, computers, hard drives, anything that stores binary data.
Can you briefly describe your training in that area?
My training began in 2008. I went to the series of classes put on by the National White Collar Crime Center. I went through 5 classes and 5 weeks of training through their curriculum. In 2010, I attended the basic conference put on by the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, and that was a 2-week program. Then after that, I became certified through them as a certified forensic computer examiner. Since then, I've been through training in cell phone forensics, but put on by the Paraben Corporation and also by the National White Collar Crime Center. I've been through several computer forensics classes put on by the Guidance Software. I've attended the ICAT conference, which covers a number of different topics, and I'm also NK certified examiner by Guidance Software.
When you examine a cell phone, can you briefly describe what you do?
I begin by, I take pictures of the evidence and then I turn it on. I place it on airplane mode. Then I extract the data from the phone if possible.
What do you mean you extract the data from the phone?
Phones store data on a memory chip, and I pull that out of whatever method the phone allows me to store that into a file or series of files for analysis.
And when you say a memory chip, do some phones have a memory chip that's just part of the phone, part of the wiring of the phone?
Yes.
And do they also sometimes have a separate or secondary memory chip?
Yes.
Can you describe that a little bit?
Some of them have the option of adding an external storage device, which on cell phones is most commonly a uh, SD card,
Micro.
micro SD card.
Is that sometimes referred to as like a SIM card?
A SIM card is a different kind of card that's used to connect the phone to the network. The micro SD is a storage device for storing pictures, videos, or anything else that the operating system needs.
How long have you been doing this work?
I started doing it in 2010, was the first case that I did completely through.
How long have you worked for the Springfield Police Department?
Since September.
And where did you work prior to that?
I was a police officer in Republic starting in 2006 until I moved to Springfield.
I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 53 and ask if you can tell me what that is.
It's Gypsy Rose's phone. It's an LG L39C cell phone.
And are you familiar with that cell phone?
Yes,
How?
it is one I analyzed.
How do you know that?
That is the cut in the evidence tape from where I opened it and then resealed it. And those are my initials stating DSM.
And is it in substantially the same condition as when you received it?
Yes.
And after you examined it?
Yes.
And now I'm going to show you what's been introduced into evidence as State Exhibit 54 and ask if you recognize that.
Yes.
What is that?
That is another cell phone that I examined. That is my cut with my initials, DSM, date, time, when I resealed it, when I was done.
And when you say you're cut on the plastic packaging?
Yes.
And is this packaging in substantially the same condition as when you received it?
Yes.
And also, after you were done examining it,
Yes.
as part of your examination of the LG cell phone, did you find items in it that associate it with a specific person?
Yes.
Who is it associated with?
Gypsy Blanchard.
And how do you know that?
Oh, there were outbox messages that stated, "Hey, it's Gypsy." So usually the phone attempted to send those messages. There were email addresses that were synced with the account, user account, and those email addresses were in the name of Gypsy Blanchard. There were also images that were recovered off of the micro SD that were pictures taken of her using that phone.
So there were pictures of her
She was
using
taking
that.
pictures of herself, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. And in the investigation you're here to testify about today, did you have an occasion to go out to 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Yes.
Did it have to do with the cell phones or something else?
It had to do with the computer.
When you were out there, did you go into the crime scene
Yes.
to seize that computer?
Yes.
And where was that computer located?
It was located next to the bed in Claudine Dee Blanchard Petrie's bedroom. And so you're familiar
Oh,
with what her
that's a
bedroom
question.
looks like. Oh, sorry.
All right. It was located next to the bed in the victim's bedroom. Question. And so you're familiar with what the victim's bedroom looks like.
Yes.
See, this is why, like, the next time I go live, I'm going to have the crime scene photos.
Oh, yeah, next to it.
Yeah, because they showed the computer.
Right. And then probably piece together the ones that, that are not out there, like some of the exhibits, like
Yeah.
her with the knife and all
I don't
that.
think those are the pictures, though, the ones of
No,
her
no,
that's
no.
licking
I'm
it.
saying, yeah, I know. That's
Yeah,
where
I wish.
the missing pieces could
Uh-huh.
be, are those ones that we can't show,
Yep. Yep. It was located next to the bed in the victim's bedroom. Oh, that's you, sorry. And so you're familiar with what the victim's bedroom looks like?
Yes.
Were there photos recovered on this phone of the victim's bedroom?
Yes.
So Gypsy had pictures. That's why is I just want to know why. What are these pictures that they speak of that were taken in her bedroom? All right. Was there a video recovered on this phone, the LG phone, of the victim's bedroom?
Yes.
With regard to these two phones, States Exhibit 54, the Kyocera flip phone, and States Exhibit 53, the LG smartphone, was there evidence of communication between these two phones?
Yes.
What evidence did you find of that?
Get your listening ears on, guys. There was communication between a Yahoo Messenger account using the Yahoo Messenger app on the LG phone through SMS or text to the Kyocera flip phone.
Okay, I'm going to back up for a second. So you're telling me, like, when I think of texting, right, I get out my phone and I just text. But the LG phone was using something different than just regular texting,
The LG phone was using Yahoo Messenger,
which is
an instant message chat program.
okay.
It was communicating to the Kyocera phone through Kyocera's cell phone number, through the Kyocera's cell phone number.
Okay, so when you say SMS, that's like a regular text message
Text message, yes.
using the phone number.
Yes.
And so when you look at the communications between the two phones, does something does just come across if you're not using a phone number on the LG, how does it come across and look from the Kyocera phone?
It comes across as a series of numbers. Yahoo has 5 numbers it uses as a prefix for those messages. So when they show up on the Kyocera, they have that 5-number prefix with some after.
And you found messages going between the two.
Yes.
And on the LG phone, was there as much history as there was on the Kyocera between those communications?
No.
Was there more on the Kyocera, which was Nicholas Godejohn's phone?
Yes.
And was there specifically communication between June 8th of 2015 and the early morning hours of June 10th
Yes.
of 2015? And did you do something to document those communications?
Yes.
What did you do?
I took pictures of those messages.
And have those been put into a PowerPoint
Yes.
and loaded onto a DVD?
Why, yes.
First, would you take a look at States Exhibit 28? Do you recognize what's depicted in that?
Yes.
Is that one of the case photos you took of the LG phone?
Yes.
LG phone being Gypsy's phone. And does it fairly and accurately depict that part of that phone?
Yes.
And does it show the micro SD card you were speaking of?
Yes.
And when you searched these phones, did you do that pursuant to a search warrant?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson, I move to admit States Exhibit 28. No objection. And so that little card we see sticking out, that's the micro SD card you're talking about?
Yes.
Now, these photographs in the video that were found on the micro SD card, were they saved normally? I'm not sure exactly how to ask the question. Saved normally, or was there something special about them?
They were deleted.
If they're deleted, how did we find them?
They were located in what is referred to as unallocated space. When you delete a picture or video off of a card like this, it doesn't actually erase the data that's there. It leaves it there and it just tells the operating system that in the future, if you need this space, you can use it. So anything that you delete by default will be there until it is overwritten by something else.
So if I understand correctly, so if I went to my phone, right, and I have a picture on it, when I click on the icon, the computer and the phone knows to take me to that image.
Yes,
But if I delete that, that link will no longer work, but the image may still be there until it's overwritten by something new I put on my phone.
correct.
All right. First, I'm going to hand you a series of exhibits. States exhibits 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38, and ask you to flip through those and ask if you recognize them.
Yes, I do.
Are those the photos that the images, I guess I should say, the images that you recovered from the allocated space on the micro SD card in the LG, aka Gypsy's phone?
They were covered from unallocated space, but yes,
I'm sorry, unallocated space. And are they in substantially the same condition they depict?
yes.
Okay. At this time, I'd move to admit States Exhibit 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Mr. Stanfield, may I voir dire the witness for a moment, Your Honor? What is voir dire? I've heard that used before. I guess that's where they can
Vordier,
just
may I
question them on the fly.
speak for a moment?
Uh-huh. All right, so here's Mr. Stanfield. The photos that are depicted there, is that exactly what her bedroom looked like when you went in there?
No.
No. Oh, sorry.
No,
I
it's
don't know
okay.
what. No. Answer it. Answer it.
No.
All right. Mr. Stanfield. Your Honor, I object. The proper foundation has not been laid for these. There's a separate gap in the chain of custody of these. These are images that are supposedly recovered from the phone. Detective Hancock testified a moment ago that he is not the one who collected the phone, that the phone was in the possession of the Waukesha Sheriff's Department for an undetermined amount of time. The detective was not able to testify as to how it was kept, where it was kept, whether it was ever even examined internally before it was turned over to him. And so, until Mr. Patterson can fill the gap in the chain of custody as to the phone, it's not proper to admit those. The judge says, Mr. Patterson, what do you say in regards to chain of custody? Mr. Patterson says, the phone is a unique item already admitted into evidence. It's not like drugs that are fungible, fungible. Well, I don't know,
What is
where you have to show us a chain of custody from person to person to person to admit. There is no evidence whatsoever this phone has been tampered with in any way. Detective Hancock testified he was present when it was seized. What the Waukesha deputies looked at, that the Waukesha deputies looked at it, packaged it, he brought it back to here. He repackaged it. Any argument does not go to admissibility, but would simply go to weight. Mr. Stanfield, Your Honor, yet again, I don't think the detective testified that they packaged it in front of him. They said that they collected it. They said it in their they had it in their possession. He was not able to testify as to how long, what they did with it, and it's not a unique item in that it can't be tampered with. As a matter of fact, it can be, which is why we have an expert here, an expert who does it. Mr. Patterson says, and yet there's no evidence of any tampering that would exclude it. Mr. Stanfield, I don't have to prove any evidence, Your Honor. He has to lay the foundation for the chain of custody that it wasn't tampered with. I'm not required to prove it.
Oh my gosh.
The judge says the phone having been admitted previously into evidence, states exhibits 31, 32 through 38 will be admitted over defense. Objection. Further direct examination by Mr. Patterson. All right. When you examined the phone, was there anything about it that indicated it had been tampered with?
No.
And you've reviewed the video image that was also recovered from the micro SD card.
Yes.
And that was placed on a disc.
Yes.
So I'm showing your State's Exhibit 30. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And it's got a white label in addition to the red label, correct?
Yes.
And if you'd scoot that to the side so we can see, is that file number 00354 what's associated with the video on the phone?
That is the file name that the forensic software I used to card it gave it. That is the file name that the forensic software I used
To
to
card it.
card it gave it.
To card it. I think there's supposed to be like a parenthesis, not
Something.
a comma there.
Yeah.
I see. And these blue squiggles here on the label, what are those?
Those are my initials.
So you know that this is the disc that you viewed.
Yes.
And is the video as it was when you captured it?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson, I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 30. No, oh wait, there is
Of
a
course. Stain-filled
objection.
objection.
Yeah, he's object. All right. Yes, Your Honor. I have the same objection, Your Honor. It's the contents of the phone, not the phone itself, that I have the issues with. Yeah, because they're incriminating. That's why you have a problem with it.
Gypsy's over there shitting in her diaper.
Yeah. The court. Objection will be overruled and State's Exhibit 30 will be admitted into evidence. Question, Mr.
Ooh.
Patterson. Yeah. When I look at State Exhibits 31, 32 through 38 on the white label is what appears to be a file name. It's got the common extension .jpg. What I know to be associated with the photo. What is the rest of that?
That is the model. The first part is the model of the phone that took the picture, and the rest of that is the date and time the picture was taken,
According to the phone?
according to the phone.
And with regard to the video, are you familiar with 3 still images taken from the video?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 30-A, 30-B, and 30-C. Take those and flip through them if you want. Do you recognize those?
Yes.
And then on the white label, after that file number that the forensic software gave the video, there's a number, like on the first one, 38-529. What does that indicate?
That is the time that that is the time in the video that still was taken from.
Okay, so it's a timestamp, right? It's a timestamp of whatever video this is.
Mhm.
Okay, so like 5 seconds.
Yes.
And 29, whatever the next subdivision is.
Right.
And do these fairly and accurately depict stills at those times from the video?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson, I move to admit State's Exhibit 30-A, B, and C. Same objection. I'm pretty sure it was overruled, right? Was there? Or
I'm sorry.
whatever. No objection. I was seeing if there was an objection. Okay. We have State's Exhibit 31. Is that the first photo that you recovered?
Yes.
And looks like it's above a tile floor with a laundry basket in the upper left corner,
Yes.
which is the bathroom, by the way.
Yes.
All right, State's Exhibit 32, a different version. The knife being held a little differently. This
Yes.
has to be the Ruby video. That's what it has to be.
I don't know. I feel like when I keep you close your eyes and
Or
envision it.
remember, there's also that video, Gypsy, where she's like, I have it on my page.
The one card.
Yeah, I'll take the one card I have over you, Gypsy.
Mm-hmm. There's
We're gonna
so
have
much. There's so much. That's why he was like, there's a lot. 8 pages of just data, like 0.5524. And that Yahoo Messenger thing is very important as well
Mm-hmm.
because she was using that instead of a phone number.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. All right. States Exhibit 32 is a different. Okay. So I just want people to take notice of this. So again, it's talking about this knife that allegedly is the same knife that she gave Nick. And I don't, that's something.
I know.
If she made videos with that actual knife.
I think she did. I think that my whole theory is that she's got to have a trophy. There's video evidence out there for sure. And she said a couple of things. I'm not trying to get off topic. It is on topic, but I don't want to get off topic of
We're
this
getting close to
paperwork.
the bottom. We're getting close to the
But
end.
I can save it until then. I'll remember.
Make a mental note because I will
Oh,
forget.
I got it.
Put a pin in it, as they say.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it.
All right, looks like yes.
Okay, wait, let's reread that. Okay. We have States Exhibit 31. Is that the first photo that you recovered?
Yes.
And looks, I can't fucking talk all of a sudden. And looks like it's above a tile floor with a laundry basket in the upper corner.
Yes.
States Exhibit 32, a different version. The knife being held a little differently.
Yes.
States Exhibit 33. Does that appear to be the same knife, just the blade?
Yes.
So we've got 3 pictures so far of this knife that he's trying to lay the foundation for. That's the same knife that she gave Nick.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm
fucking
wondering if
crazy.
these
That's
photos are
wild.
are stills that he took photos. He said
From a
he took
video.
stills from the
These are
video.
stills.
Right.
Yeah, they're stills from a video that I think is in the bathroom because he's describing the
The
bathroom with the
floor.
tile floor and the laundry basket.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one I've seen that I need to go look at the other one is the Ruby video. I know that one was in the bathroom.
What's up with her in the bathroom? Like,
I don't know.
she's always in there.
I guess it's easy access to, you know.
No,
I
but
don't know.
even her videos on TikTok, she does them in the bathroom.
She should move into the bathroom.
That's where she lives
Just
anyway.
put a toilet in her fucking bedroom and she'll feel
She
at
has
home.
diapers. Why would she need a toilet?
All right, we're almost done. All right. In the left-hand corner,
Yep.
States Exhibit 32, a different version, the knife being held a little differently.
Yes.
States Exhibit 33, does that appear to be the same knife, just the blade?
Yes.
States Exhibit 34, what are we looking at here?
That is the victim's bedroom, or Dee Dee's bedroom.
Maybe there. See, this is gonna drive me nuts. I want to know what the fuck this evidence is. In this part that looks like the corner, is that the corner of the bed? Like the footboard of the bed that I see there on the right side?
Yes.
And looks like there's some kind of baggie with a white something in it on the corner of the bed. Y'all pay
Yes.
attention to this part.
Yeah. For real. Yes.
States Exhibit 35, what are we looking at here?
It is the victim's bedroom, Dee Dee's bedroom, just for anybody listening.
And the bed in particular?
Yes.
And if I zoom in here, what does this item here appear to be? This flag for like a white keypad?
Some kind of phone or remote control.
States Exhibit 36. What's this here? Well, oh, what would be on our sort of the middle of the bed next to the footboard there?
It's the bag seen in the picture 2 before.
And this here, what's that?
Sorry, a cat.
And this here, what's that?
Some kind of box.
Oops, I pushed the button. Okay. Okay, States Exhibit 37. How do we see all of the cat? Wait. Let me say that
Now.
again because I fucked it up. Okay, States Exhibit 37. Now do we see all of the cat?
Yes.
Same box right beside it in the same position.
Yes.
Baggy with white substance in the same position.
Yes.
States Exhibit 38. Now we're looking at the floor at the foot of the bed. Is that correct?
Yes.
And again, we can see that white baggie in the same position on the bed.
Yes.
And these photos show that they were made on May
There we go.
22nd. So whatever this is with the knife, so she could have possibly had the knife back in May, which isn't too far from June.
That's my fucking birthday.
Now you'll never forget.
Jeez.
So if I ever
correct.
need to know when the photos came from, I'll make
My
sure to.
birthday.
Yeah. And those
Correct.
photos show that they were made on May 22nd of 2050. And what is this white bag? What's this white substance in a baggie? What's that about?
Some white girl. No racism or anything. Just if
There's
you know,
no
you know.
way Gypsy was like doing cocaine. Like,
Come on now. You think that's out of
there's
the
no
realm of
way.
scope? Objection,
Yes, I
Starlight.
do.
Objection, Starlight.
Unless she's like injecting it into her feeding tube.
Objection, relevance.
Sugar. Someone said a bag of sugar. The powder, yeah, maybe it was. Oh, maybe it was the dryer sheets.
Yep.
Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Maybe it was a bag of dryer sheets. And what is the box? They keep referring to the box.
What's in the
too.
box?
Do they look at where the knife was stolen from in court? I don't think so. She planned that murder, sprinkling baby powder. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was a bag of just baby powder,
That's what I
and then
think so
she
too.
started throwing that baby powder all around that room. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody just grabbed a thing of baby powder and just threw it everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's not, or it could be a lie, like, you know, like
I didn't see
pool
one.
cleaner or CLR.
What? Say that again?
CLR, like that calcium lime rust stuff, like just to try to the smell I don't know.
I had to hit my vape. Sorry. There's so many things, so many
The
questions.
cat in the box is just thrown. No,
Carpet
and
fresh.
remember too, this is all pictures from a video. It's painting a picture.
I am
I know you
convinced
know.
that
I know you know, but
that they were full of dryer sheets. She had fucking dryer sheets on that bed in that bag.
oh yeah. And is this before like the scent boosters? Like
Well,
the
I don't know.
I know the dryer sheet thing.
But,
I know about
you know,
that, but
she was Googling ways to cover up the smell of a dead body, and one of
right.
those things is dryer sheets, and there were all those dryer sheets on Dee Dee's
Everywhere.
mattress.
I'm sure she had
Crap.
plenty of baby powder lying around. I just want to know if there was still Pedialyte.
I have a phone call.
Pediasure.
Like,
Okay.
you got it?
No, you got to scroll. I can't do nothing.
Well, just talk to the people.
I'll talk to the people.
Okay.
All right. So what do y'all think? Here, I'm gonna do a little thingamajig. What do y'all think was in the bag? This is wild, isn't it? Augur, say your son's birthday is June 11th. Yeah, I've got a lot of Junes and mine's in May. Just me being real. She said that she crushed them and put them in her feeding tube. Yeah, she is. She is full of crap. That's for sure. A present for Brie, Casey May. That's great. It's for all the money she couldn't even pay the hackers. So I mean, makes a lot of sense. Dank, me too. I've got 2 ex-husbands that are both in June, one of my kiddos, and then I'm in May. I'm a first day of Gemini, last day of Taurus. This is so wild. I can see people seething over taking this from Starlight, and I know that these papers aren't cheap, and it takes a long time to get, and sometimes you're SOL.
All right. Sorry about that.
I am on the cusp.
All right, let's see. Where was I?
Let's see.
Okay, and these photos show that they were made on May 22nd of 2015.
Correct.
I didn't interrupt you like in mid-sentence to somebody.
No, I was just BSing. You know how I am.
I know. I couldn't hear you though. So if I interrupted.
No, I was just reading chat. You know, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just BSing. All right. That's
All right, here we go.
correct. So we're on 8.
When you examined the video, did it appear to have been made on the same day?
Yes.
What drew you to that conclusion?
Everything in the room is placed in exactly the same place.
So if we look at the first deal, States Exhibit 30-A at 5 seconds and 29 in, see the cat in the same position?
Yes.
And the white baggie?
Yes.
And the box?
Yes.
States Exhibit 30B, which is 11 seconds and 26. Do you see that white baggie?
Yes.
In States Exhibit 30C, do you see that phone in the same position? I believe. Sorry.
That's okay. I believe it's a remote control, but yes.
Remote control. Okay. At this time, Your Honor, I'd ask leave to play the video. States Exhibit 30 that's been admitted.
30.
Leave will be granted. Question. And again, according to the file stamp on those photos, this would have been made on May 22nd of 2015.
Yes.
The video marked as State's Evidence 30 was played. All right,
what?
So they played it. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
And we've seen like snippets of these videos. We've never seen them in full, right? So
yes.
That's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Or that we need the one, unless there's another, and there has to be more.
Oh, there's so much more. Like the cat in the box, we would have remembered that. Like the whole thing. Like what character was this? Like what's going on?
What was going on before she went and walked over the bed and did the stabbing motions? Like what led to that? What was going on?
Yeah, and this was on May 22nd.
Things started to like get crazy in March and May. Or May. Maybe it's May.
Well, March is when
things started really amping up in March.
Well, because she knew that she was playing 2 dudes essentially, and that was her little game that she would, so she was on this really weird.
Was she playing 2 dudes? I don't know what the fuck she was doing now. I got all kinds of questions.
I mean, now, I don't know.
Because, to me, I don't think Dan would have wanted fuck all to do with her. I think he was embarrassed when she showed up at the hospital.
Yeah,
but he was being dirty with her online. And that's not.
Well, that's okay. What I mean. That's what I mean by, in her mind, talking to all these different people online is like her thing, and she's probably really comfortable doing her characters. God knows she probably has Goldie out there too. Like, we'll find out like some dude, I remember her, but she wasn't Ruby or Devon. She was Goldie. That's Goldie.
No, they didn't find pain meds, not that they've stated. Because that's see, and this is why I want to know what came after this. A pretrial hearing. Do
Hmm.
they present evidence? Because that's what I need to understand. Like at
I've
the
gone
process, you have a
through.
preliminary hearing because that's what this is. And the preliminary hearing is so the prosecution can state their case, right? And
Right.
then the judge says yes or no on you should, if you pled not guilty, we're going to take you to trial. During that process time that would have led to a trial
A
case,
pretrial conference.
aren't prelims and pretrial conferences kind of the same thing? Am I
No,
wrong?
no,
Okay.
they are different. There was a pretrial conference. At one point, they gave her the deal. So
Uh-huh.
they, at this point in time, the state's being like, "Yo, we've got enough right now." Because Stanfield's like, "Oh, well, I haven't even read all this. I don't know what's going on. I don't, this,
Yeah, I
that, and
can believe
whatever."
he said that. I
So
haven't had time to look through
I
all
haven't
these
had time.
40,000 pages of Facebook.
So this preliminary hearing was on what day? What day was this on? It was in July, wasn't it?
Oh God, I have to look. July, I want to say 7th, but I may be off.
Okay, but in 2015, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so yeah,
I mean, her
exactly.
hair. Did you see what she looked like then? Like her hair was still really short.
Exactly. This was the preliminary hearing to see if there was enough, it doesn't have
Evidence
to
because she
be
pled not guilty.
correct. So it has to show that there is the substantial part doesn't have to matter. It's accurate. So they're determining if there's enough to go to trial. And he's saying right now, like, I'm trying to paint the picture. I'm trying to give it to you.
Yeah, he's laying the foundation.
Because a month out from an arrest, not even, isn't enough to even have a pretrial conference. You would have to have plenty of time to prep for that. So this is the
Mhm.
preliminary hearing to then say, hey,
And
we're going
she
to have a
didn't
pretrial conference. No, she didn't know
she
nothing.
didn't end up taking the plea deal till 2016.
Right. And there was a pretrial conference after this because this is fresh out the gate. Like,
Oh, very fresh. Like even that one detective was like, I'm not even done looking through everything.
right. This is a big chunk of what's out there.
Man, that would have been a great trial.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would have
when
been
they got this, what you got is meant because it paints the picture, which again does not have to
is if it
show.
went to trial, this is where,
Well, there was enough to go to because there was a
yeah.
pre-trial conference. They were going to
Mhm.
be picking the jury. They were going to
Mhm.
be, pulling a jury essentially if she wanted that or a judge, whichever they had gone with. But
And if it wasn't for this slimy little snake with no ass, Mike Stanfield, who bought, sold this Munchausen by proxy narrative.
which is nowhere in this.
Yeah, not at all.
No. So he went on his little quest of holy crap, we're screwed. And then that's when he went digging and fabricated the
Well,
story.
and like what I really got out of this is like he is laying the foundation, like his foundation right now to prove that he's not naming everything that he has. He doesn't even have
Nah, he's
everything
not going to
yet.
play his
But
hand, and
his
that's not the
point
point.
is,
Right.
yeah, that look, these two were communicating. We found her there. We know that she wanted him to kill her mother. Here's the proof that she wanted him to kill her mother, and she should be prosecuted for that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's why the judge, uh, you know, was like, there is enough factual. Um, burden of proof is on. I'm not
Yeah.
going to even say that, but either way.
All
Yeah,
right,
this
let's finish it up here. We're on page 93 of 102. All right, so they play the video and they don't go into detail about it, unfortunately, but they do talk about it here. All right. I would love to see the video. I bet it
I know.
speaks for itself.
States
All right.
Exhibit 55. I'm just remembering things.
Yeah, somebody write that down. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked States Exhibit 55. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
A CD or DVD with the PowerPoint.
Okay, so they don't even talk about what was it
No.
like. They just led up to what was in the video, then played the video and then moved on. All
Hmm.
right. Of the screenshots that you took of the Kyocera phone. Sorry.
Yes.
And if I recall correctly, which captured the text messages from the Yahoo Messenger on the LG phone to the Kyocera phone. I keep fucking that up.
No, it's all good.
I've never heard of that Kyocera.
Yeah, it's like an off-brand, like a
Yeah. From a time on June 8th, 2018. I'm sorry, 2015. Fuck that all up. Let me just start over. And if I recall correctly, which captured the text messages from the Yahoo Messenger on the LG phone to the Kyocera phone from a time on June 8th, 2015 to the early morning hours of June 10th of 2015.
yes.
10th. Move to admit States Exhibit 55. Mr. Stanfield has an objection to the foundation. The judge says it will be admitted. Patterson said, "It will take me just a second to load, Your Honor, because it's on a disk. It just takes a moment. Pause in proceedings." Mr. Patterson. And just to review what you told us about Yahoo Messenger, if I recall correctly, it has this quote 2, this 924665 prefix number. That indicates this is going from the Kyocera phone to the LG phone that's using Yahoo Messenger.
Yes.
And so if this changes on our next slide to quote from in that number, that would indicate it's coming from the LG Gypsy's phone using Yahoo Messenger to the Kyocera phone, which is Nick's phone.
Correct.
And the date and timestamps of the messages are at the top.
Yes.
And I think you told us when you examine a phone that you put it into the airplane mode.
Yes.
Your Honor, can you read the screen? Yes. I will simply hit the space bar as I read each one. If you need me to stop, please. The judge says, Mr. Stanfield, are you and your client able to review those also? Mr. Stanfield says, I'm able to see them. Your Honor, yes. Oh, fucking A. All right, there we go. Sorry. Where was I? Okay, I'm able to
115.
see them, yes. Mr. Patterson. May I sit while I do this? All right, Mr. Patterson. And on that one, quote 2, that means that's from the Kyocera to the LG.
Yes.
And that quote from that number is from the LG to the Kyocera.
Yes.
Again, that's from the LG phone.
Yes.
And that's from the LG phone.
Yes. Yes.
That's the taxi number being provided from the LG phone, correct?
Yes.
And now the Kyocera phone saying, quote, I'm in Springfield.
Yes.
So after discussing the expenses at the hotel, this message from the LG phone, Gypsy's phone, says, quote, unless you want to do it tonight.
Yes.
And this is from Gypsy's phone talking to Nick's phone about, quote, your mom.
Yes.
as opposed to the quote, your mom of the first one. Again, this is from the LG phone saying, I will text you. We are doing this tonight.
Yes.
This is the LG phone saying, hun, does he require just the, and it says gloves and knife?
Yes.
And the reply is, quote, that side of me expects duct tape too.
Yes.
This is from the Kyocera phone saying, quote, I should ask you this before he has to. Is your mom a light or deep sleeper?
Yes.
This is from the LG phone saying, quote, the shit's going down sorry, this shit makes me so mad. Here.
I know.
This is from the LG phone, Gypsy's phone, saying, quote, the shit's going to go down tonight, Ruby said,
Yes.
end quote. And I have never seen that. I don't
Mhm.
think that's in the text messages. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've read too much and I forgot. But yeah, the shit's going to go down tonight, Ruby said.
Yes.
This is from the Kyocera phone saying, quote, babe, it's my evil side doing it. He won't mess up because he enjoys killing.
Yes.
This is from the LG phone, Gypsy's phone, saying, I left the gloves inside the front door, and the screen door is squeaky, so try to open it just enough to get in and close it gentle.
Yes.
And again from Gypsy's phone, I will hand him the knife and duct tape inside, darling.
Yes.
And here from the Gypsy's phone, I'm doing my nails too.
Yes.
And there's an interaction about red nail polish, and she replies, I'm painting them a dark pink.
Yes.
And this is from the LG phone, Gypsy's phone. I am daddy, just as a backup. If it doesn't go right, run out of the house as fast as you
Okay.
can, hun.
Yes. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't think I have either.
Whoa.
And he replies, baby, there is no other option. He is going to finish her no matter what. That is how he is.
Yes.
And she says, okay, darling, he's brave. I respect and admire that.
Yes.
And here, too, Gypsy's phone. Honey, you forgot that he is ruthless and his hatred for her will force her to die, hun.
I've never seen that. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but that's from Gypsy said
I
that.
know.
Honey, you forgot that he is like, why is she telling him you forgot that he is ruthless and his hatred for her will
It's
force her to
manipulation.
die?
Like, you got to do this. You got to tell him to do it. Like, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, she's double manipulating his quote alters. Yes.
This is from Gypsy's phone. Quote, and we'll be happy soon. After this night, we will never bring it up.
Yes.
Now this is from the LG phone, Gypsy's phone, at 1:08 a.m. on June 10th. I know what you mean, hun. I'm getting close. It's getting close to the time. She took her sleep aid pill.
Yes.
And here from the LG phone, providing the address 2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri.
Yes.
Here from the LG phone. Will you need an anxiety med to calm you after, hun?
Yes.
And here from the LG phone, it says, quote, at the hotel, we can go slow. Oh, and you may not need to put on the gloves because we will sink it so it's never found.
Yes.
This is from the LG phone again. I'll listen to him, darling. It's go time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Now at 2:01 a.m. from the LG phone. Quote, sir, will you text me once you're at the door with the gloves on?
Yes.
And now at 2:07 a.m. from the Kyocera phone, quote, "I'm here, and you get your ass to the bathroom. You open the door."
Yes.
And the last one is the series at 2:08 from the LG phone. "Yes, sir. I'm going now, sir."
Yes.
No further questions. No
Ooh.
cross-examination. May the witness be excused. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Any evidence for the defense? No, Your Honor.
Exactly.
The court. Any argument, Mr. Stanfield? No, Judge.
This
The
is
court.
important.
As to count 1 and count 2, the court finds probable cause to believe that a felony was committed and the defendant committed it. This case is bound over for arraignment in circuit court. The court would have proposed July 31st. Mr. Patterson, may I ask for August 7th? Mr. Stanfield is like being a dick, of course. We are not waiving the 10-day rule, Your Honor. We would like July 31st. Mr. Patterson, the 10-day rule only applies to filing the felony information. I'll file it within 10 days. The court, arraignment is set July 31st at 8:30 a.m. Mr. Stanfield says, "Thank you, Your Honor." Anything else? No, Judge. We are off the record. Very interesting to me, though.
Let's see. And witness have and to set my hand. Harrison.
Now I can see the chat for a minute. Man, that took 3 fucking hours.
I know.
Lord of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I don't know if I should like put it in a video. Let me get that thing off.
Huh?
Do what? I don't know if I should put that in a video. I just want it like archived somewhere because I had been searching for that preliminary hearing.
I know. It's very, the I don't even know what to call them anymore. The ones that say they find everything and it's theirs and theirs and theirs are going to be sniping it.
That's fine. Just give me my credit. That's all.
No, I know that, but the ones that are normally here in good faith every day that you're here, they always do, but
I would just have to I couldn't read that again for 3 hours. It's my 4th time now.
you could do the answers.
Or 3rd time. Huh?
I said you could do the answers. Maybe Becca can answer the questions next time, or we can do a whole thing like the court and
I'll probably send them to Becca so she can use them if she
yeah,
can make
for
a
sure.
video. Yep. Thank all of you guys for listening to me read. Don't know what other way to put them out there, but I want them to be out there,
Yeah, I think part of it, so some of that stuff I never heard of before, and just to know that I already knew there was more video and whatnot out there, but to know that there's a lot of video and stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah. They would have blown her like she would have been guilty on all counts if they had taken her to trial because they could have presented all of that. Did you watch the Jodi Arias trial?
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you remember when they had to present that very uncomfortable details about them? I think there were videos or pictures. I remember her in the pigtails.
Yeah,
They were naughty photos. Like, would they present the photos of Gypsy sucking on a Japanese dildo with barbecue sauce all over at the trial?
Yeah, everything.
Like, oh, this poor abused girl. Let's take her to trial now.
The thing that really struck me was that Mr. freaking Stainfield had to say,
Bethany, you're so sweet.
the media is doing something right now. Like how it what? The
take
media
you to
is
trial.
making note of this right now. It,
The
it's
fuck, Gypsy.
he's the worst. Like he's the absolute worst. He thought this was probably the trial.
Who? Pat? Who?
Mr. Stainfield.
Mr. Stanfield would. I've never looked into him. He's just kind of annoying to me. But
He
I
was
would like to
talking
see
like a
how, like,
trial. He was talking
why?
like this was the trial. It was so weird.
Yeah, but he also didn't have shit.
Oh, I know.
There,
Because he
no
realized that this
defense.
wasn't the trial.
No defense. No. She was abused by her mother.
Yeah.
Defense. He just said no.
Nope. Now that I know this isn't the trial, and I read what is it? I read trial murder trial for dummies. We're good for July 31st.
My Cash App and stuff is
Here,
in
I
this
got
little QR code up here.
I got the linkity link.
I hate to
All of
do
them
it.
are in there.
Give me my damn monetization, YouTube, so I don't have to do that shit. Quit being an asshole, YouTube. Anyway,
How much longer you got on that?
till March.
That's where I thought I remembered.
That's fucked up. It's fucked up, YouTube. Why'd you do
Did they
that?
tell you why?
Reused content, but everybody reuse. Do you watch Queen Bee? Like, everybody reuses content. What are you talking about?
It's because of what they did. You know how they redid that rule where now it used to be semi easy to get monetized, and then they made it to where you have to have a ton of watch hour. You know what they did. Ever
Yeah,
since
but
that, they've been super sketch. But the amount of
pissing me
time,
off. I went out of my way to make sure my shit was edited, like no copyright, and I still got it. What the hell? What the hell?
that's people mass reporting.
I don't know what it is. Bullshit is what it is.
There's lots of people that
But I see people that say the most vile things, like, I mean, vile, and they're monetized, no problems.
yeah.
Anyway,
It's irritating. I feel like the weather's so cold. My throat is scratchy. I walked out this morning and it was 20.
I saw Mia was live, and they got a ton of snow.
Well, that's how it was for me last, like
Hey, Lanky.
the 9th. We got the snow and the ice. It wasn't thick, but enough. Thick, thick.
All right, I got to get off here. I got people who need my attention.
Oh, that's right. Mine are at school. Mine are at school.
Yeah, mine didn't have school
I know.
today
I remember.
because we got literally a handful of snow.
Well, you
Like,
know how it is down here.
they
They're like,
shut it down.
holy mackerel, if somebody's going to need their life alert, we got to shut down the school. Everybody, nobody can drive. Nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But on that note,
Snow that y'all are getting snow.
yeah.
Yeah, we literally got a handful, maybe. It's cold though. It's cold
A
as shit.
hand job. You getting hand jobs over there? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm joking.
handful.
I heard you.
No hand jobs.
Just
Not
being
today.
a dick.
I can't. All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Thank you guys for listening. I know it's a lot, but hey, I think this shit needs to be out there. So let's.
It wasn't as creepy as a text
Your
messages
job.
reading with the
No, it's interesting though. It's interesting to me.
No, this is very interesting, but those weird robotic text message, hun, are you
Hun,
coming
dear
tonight,
hun,
hun?
dear, honey, hun.
Oh, gosh, awful. All right. Peace out.
Later. Thank you so much, Bryn. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
always. Always,
Yeah.
always.
Much
All right,
thanks.
everybody. Later.
Bye, guys. I'm out of here. I think Morbid will be live tonight. Yes? Yes. Going to direct everyone. Okay. It's boring. Maybe you can listen to it on like 1.5. I know it takes a lot to listen to somebody read, right? And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I need to go figure out what this. Everybody came in here is like, Fancy's talking about you. What? Fancy, why? Why, Fancy, why? I have not said anything. I've been nice. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nobody pays me. Okay? I do what I want. All right, guys. Where's my... Hold on. I have a Cartman. Where is he at? I've had this on here for years. Yeah, whatever. I do what I want. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hanging out. 3 hours, 45 minutes. That's a long time to talk. I'm all talked out. But I appreciate you so much. And, oh, I said I was going to make sure and check my phone. So let me do that. Okay. I see I got some Cash Apps. I will go and read them. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. See, I got some PayPals. You guys are the best. I'm hoping to get some more records. Okay. I'm going to talk to Greene County again. We'll see what else we can dig up. I'm hoping to get those evidence. We get the evidence that was presented during this preliminary hearing. Ooh, Gypsy Rose, you would be done. We need to find the evidence that they presented in the documents that I read to you today. Okay, that is my message. Somehow, some way. We need those videos. And once we have those videos, Gypsy, we're going to know what a demon you are and how you have sat out here and slandered Dee Dee's name. And I've said for a while, I've done had enough. You out here slandering Miss Dee Dee like that. She wasn't a perfect person, but she didn't deserve to be murdered while she slept in her bed with her light on, her closet. Did you turn that closet light on? Did you turn on the lights above the bed? Or did your mom do that? As she slept in her bed, defenseless. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, I'll see you guys tonight at Morbid. Everybody have a good one. And I'm out of here. Peace out. If I can find my stuff. Bye, guys. A disclaimer that I don't have all that much time today. Got a little bit of time today.
This beat is going to drop in 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's fair game, right? Bye, everybody.